Check and see if I'm on here. Should be. Oh, people in the chat already. Let's see if it starts broadcasting here. I don't even know if it's on. Yep, people in the chat already. Right, well, in 2 seconds just to send this link. I'll send a link out. I'm hoping Ali's going to appear on. Hopefully we'll hear from John as well. I'll send a link to them both. I've got somebody else who has to come on. I'll read their name in a minute. And I've got Vortex Puppy here. So I'm going to send a link to each one of you. Just give me 10-15 minutes just to read out some of these comments and stuff. Hang on. So, anybody else who's wanting in, just let us know and we'll email you the link. So, where are we? Chat. Nathan Otley, hello. Teen, how's it going, man? Your link as well. Flat Earth VBC, I have a message deleted already. Is he straight in with the fucking illogical nonsense, is he? Stand up. I hope the chat addresses these globe cult Jehovah Witness type insecure deluded fellas and what insecurity drives them. Yeah. Let's find out. As I say, I'm going to read some of the comments out from especially today's video. You see some of these fanatics and their behaviour. At the end of the day, you know, I'm not running about going to Globe Earth pages and giving them abuse in their chat. A wee bit more respect than that. But obviously we're dealing with fanatics, so it's an issue. What else we got here? Nathan Otley in Flat Earth, Vancouver. If Dale is getting paid today, must have been bring your kid to work day. I'll read some of these comments out in a wee minute. Oh, what was that? Somebody appearing in there. Who have we got? Oh, it's yourself, Marshall. Brandon Cook, how you doing, man? Watcher 1421, hello. Stand up, Tina. Thank you from me for keeping the chat flowing, as these religious globe beaters can be a bit tiresome. Yeah, they're just here as usual to cause discourse. Again, the same accounts have got nothing to offer. The platform's there for them. I'm not going to waste my fucking time. Tone Overdrive, I'm going to read your comment, your mail that you sent me, man. I got that in Gmail. Colin Campbell, how do, bud? Bo Radley, how's it going? D-Truth, how do? Flat Earth and hot potatoes, hello Patricia. Cool. Right, so what was I laughing at earlier? What was I? There was a cracking one for the Gertrude Perkins account, but it's in my notifications, but it doesn't seem to be there in the video, but I was laughing at it. And the only bit I can see of it was, I'd be extremely embarrassed to have such a thick-ass, shit, ill-educated, retard-ass father. It goes on, the recent upsurge in flat earth belief clearly, I don't know what the rest of it is because I can't see it in the comment section, and it's not been held for review either, so I don't know what that's about, but I found that absolutely hysterical. What else was I going to read? There was another guy, Flat Earth Math, who had left quite a good comment, and I appreciate it, and that's the kind of attitude I can respect. Was the guy who came, he's called Flat Earth Math. You have made some very good observations, Dale. May I call you Dale? And Charles, of course you can. Charles, nice to meet you. The key is in throwing assumptions out of the window and making all the observations you can. But one assumption is that one can't tell the shape of the earth by looking at the sky. If our sky measurements are intimately tied to latitude, then they follow that the angle of measurement changes with the degree of latitude, then that's a clue. If an architect had full access to the inside of someone's house, including attic and crawl space, he might be able to construct a pretty decent drawing of what the house looks like from the outside, structurally, just not paint colour. And that's fine, because, you know, that analogy is, you know, we can actually get into the attic of a house. You know, what the problem is what is the sun, the moon, the stars made of? Who's actually been up here, and where's the proof of it? So, you know, the guy Flat Earth Math made a great comment, and hopefully, you know, we'll get a chance to speak to him one day on a hangout. Aye, so I appreciate that, man. I didn't have time to respond to the comment, but, you know, I'm just doing it just now. What am I looking at? Other account. I don't even know what that says. Can't even read mine writing. Ah, well. So, where are we? Aye. Here we go. Martin Conley, good evening. Hello. John Smith, good to see you, man. Hopefully you'll be in for a chat.
What about me, Dale? You're not going to say hello to me?
Oh, shit, we've got a visitor. How you doing, Ali?
No, it's a bit in the back door, mate.
Just ring a wee bell.
I got a torch.
It's when you're in, it's got YouTube, and I can't see this, but, you know, when I'm in there reading the comments.
Aye, I've heard that before, mate. How's things?
Not bad, mate, not bad. Yourself?
Not so bad. I'm under a wee bit of time pressure. I've only got about an hour at the moment, so.
No worries, man.
We can fire away once you've done your stuff. You know, said hello to everybody in the chat and stuff. So.
I'm here, mate. You know, carry on. Appreciate your time, mate. Looks like interesting surroundings you're in there.
This is the library in Denmark. Would you like a look?
I go for it.
Yeah, it's there.
Sweet.
And there's a view there. That's the view out into the bridge. There's a loch right out there that I've told John and me and my friends are going to do an experiment where I'm going to stand here. We're going to make a three-way, like someone's over there, my mate's going to sail for 3 miles, so someone will be looking from the side, filming. I'll be here, filming, go that way, and we'll see if we can see a curvature, man. No? It's already, and my mate's got a drone as well. So, but we'll wait to the summer maybe. So,
well, the fact that it's filled with water tells me that there's no curvature. But I'm all for the experiments, man. You know.
Hey, look, it's gravity, man. It's holding us on here. So.
Cabbage. It's cabbage.
Oh God, oh God.
We need to start a trend.
Nah, that's it. I'll start saying cabbage. Cabbage. Where did that come out of?
What, the cabbage?
Aye, that saying there, it rings a bell in me. Ah, right.
Aye.
Aye. I thought that. He seems the type.
I'm hoping we'll hear from him later on or whatever, you know, or he comes in and joins in.
Yeah. So, but what was this you were going to talk about tonight? It was about the social aspect or
any topic, mate. You know, that's the thing. You know, I said that today. Some people might prefer a specific topic, but you know, you can say a topic and then it comes to that night and you're not really in that kind of mood and you don't feel like it. So I think it's best just to, you know, leave it open and just see where the discussions happen to go. You know, so.
Yeah, all right. And I've got one. I'm going to make a comment on the video you put on today with your daughter there.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. It's all compliments. It was just so funny. It's great to hear someone that age, right? Like what you said, sits and watches this, whatever performance is going on here and relating it to, it looks as if it's a bunch of children at the schoolyard. She sees it every day, man. Now, if nobody takes that as it should be understood, it's like an observation. It's an observation by someone that is of that age, that's in a place, and she's looked at all this mess that's going and all these people, and that's exactly right. They're just like a bunch of children arguing, or
that's it.
And
if I'm discussing it with my daughter and we're talking about her situations as she's growing up, You know, she's learning these things and she recognises them, so she's then applying it, you know, in every aspect of her life. So she looks at what's going on here, and it's simple for her to see this. You know, it's very simple, and I've always tried to say that to people. You know, it's a simple question, you know, and all the other stuff that's going on is totally irrelevant. You know, and anybody partaking in it, you know, it should just be highlighted as nonsense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's a few people out there that are changing their view on it. I don't want to mention any names, but I've been watching that last week. I've talked to John about it, but I was saying to John, I'd love to have a wee private three-way with you, just the three of us, and have a wee, discussion. But I'm best. I can, you know, I get caught best during the day. During the day, from about 10 o'clock to now, kind of thing. I've got access, 100% guaranteed access to the internet. So at the moment, but we need to do that because I've got loads of yeah. But as I say, what I've observed is a lot plus people are coming here. I was actually just over there on Free Chan, and someone actually made the comment, this is getting boring. When's Dell starting up? You know. Yeah, seriously, but it's like a compliment. You can even see it with your viewing figures. It's good, the subjects, no matter what anybody else, all the idiots that are slagging it off and making the most stupidest videos. It's embarrassing for me to see like grown-ups acting in that kind of way. But you can see you're making an impact because people are.
Yeah.
You know, they're just jealous of me. Honestly, you've got a great wee channel. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm not sucking up your ass. I don't care.
To be honest, and you know, and I'll keep always saying it. It's nothing to do with me. It's not about me. You know, this is the people beyond the imaginary curve. You know, I done my wee bit of work. You know, there's some people who are interested and they started coming over. Now the channel's open up to everybody. You know, consider it theirs. Although I put my wee vlogs out, it's not about me. It's nothing to do with me.
Your opinion's still valued, though. You know what I mean? That's the so that's it. So it's a good participation. We'll get people talking about the subjects, but it's definitely a problem. I was talking to John today. John today. Yeah. and we were talking about how people are where it was starting from. How come, you know, we can see, you know, we've been told the same as what they've been told, you know, it's a fraud, and we go, oh yeah, so it is. But the other people, I mean, I was on Earth Discussions the other night, and I was talking about the inertial navigation system, right? And they were ripping into me, misconstruing my words, you know, and all that kind of thing. And I was actually looking at it. They were absolutely not. All they were waiting for was to pick at faults rather than learning. You know, this is what this process is all about. I think even they should be. You know, even I introduced a paper. It's a Cambridge paper because I had a discussion with a guy. He recommended I should do this to learn more about it. So he gave me, it was like an article, just like a one-page article. I thought, to hell with this. So I found this, I sourced this Cambridge University thing on it. It was only 37 pages. So I went on again. I said, oh, here's the document that I looked for. Oh, where is it? I said, it's here. Here's the document. And they brought it onto the screen. They were like, it's 37 pages. I said, yeah, well, read it. Like, can you not find us any bullet points that say the Earth is... I said, no, mate. I says, to come to a conclusion, you have to read the 37 pages to come to the same conclusion. They were trying to get me to say, oh, what about here? And then they say, you don't understand this equation. I says, I don't need to. It explains that equation in the writing, the paragraph above it. It tells you what that does. So the information's in the paragraph. Ignore the equations. It's only describing a movement or something. It doesn't tell you. So and they couldn't accept it. See, when they asked me, I took it back. They challenged me. I took a paper away. I read about it. I came back. When I presented it, it was like they didn't want to know.
Well, these aren't the real people, you know. They're not even. I don't even consider them interested in real science either, because real science, as far as I'm concerned, encourages, you know, questioning at every level. You know, I mean, you see the amount of discouragement that's going on in just, you know, illogical nonsense that they keep throwing out, but they say it, you know, as if they're intellectual, you know, even if they say it with a smarmy voice, and, you know, they come across like,
no.
No, it doesn't matter, you know, who was the comedian that says just because they tell you with a fucking straight face or a fancy voice doesn't mean to say what they're saying is true, you know.
Exactly.
So, you know, rather than getting involved in the discussion, which is, you know, what I've always tried to encourage, you know, it's natural science, you can only discuss it. You know, when you're getting into debates with people, it's about ideas then, you know, because it's something you can't prove, you know, how can you debate the natural world as you find it? You don't debate it. You know, you make your claim and then you prove your claim. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and when you mess when you're messing with nature, you're messing with the unknowable, or to a point. You know, it's all speculation, because until we really, really get our own microscopes, get our own measuring tools, these things that can measure forces that we can't see, kind of thing. Whereas, you know, it's a waste of time. It's not a waste of time discussing it. It's good intellectual conversation to surmise or look into things, explore new avenues, but you know,
I think a lot of that was deliberate for me. You know, there was a lot of this. Let's focus on the matter. Let's, you know, what's it made of? What's it, you know, all that kind of stuff. You know, rather than just exploring the matter. Maybe if you keep going and exploring, you'll find things that they can tell you a lot more than just sitting here trying to look at it under a microscope. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're focused. Well, it was. I think it was John that said that. As we're focused there, it's like focus attention. We're not taking in. We've already got a bias. We're already biased towards that, and we won't be taking in the subliminal stuff that's actually part of making this up, because, you know,
getting back to what you were saying about these characters, how they were treating you, you know, it's just illogical. It's a total nonsense. You know, we're meant to be able to discuss and find things out and progress, but they're fanatical. They are attached to a certain model, although there's zero proof for it. And reality staring them in the face, telling them something different. They just continue it. So, you know, as I said it before, man, for me, stupidity only goes so far. I've got to start considering that it's just an agenda they're pushing, you know, or they're just so helplessly insecure and scared and terrified that, you know, this is the behaviours we're getting. But,
yeah, but it could be like a personal agenda rather than it being an outside. It might be a personal agenda. What you're saying, maybe their brains couldn't handle, or whatever. There's some conflict going on there. It's like it could even possibly be like a survival instinct that their actual conscious, subconscious, or whatever. Because otherwise, you know, if some people, my friend nearly broke down, you know, when I first, I wish I hadn't. It was only a month later he told me he did. He went through the, unbelievable, paranoia and all that, man. He was really, really scared about it, you know. And I said to him, I said, sorry, Daniel, you know, I didn't realise it was good, because you don't, because, you know, you've been there, but he actually, and he knew it was real, you know, he knew it resonated. And it has to resonate with it, and that's, you know, that's the thing that it doesn't.
No, it's an emotional thing, man. You know, I say that about myself. I was already open to you know, possibilities and looking, keeping an open mind. And when, you know, when the nut cracked for me, I was in a fucking state. People don't, you know, you need to say, people, listen, I was fucking desperately trying to prove to myself it was a fucking globe. I so wanted it to be true because I couldn't deal. I was starting to freak out, the paranoia. It starts to set in and you go, well, hang on now. I need to consider that there's an actual, you know, there is an organised push of a lie here and a real manipulation and a real control. So, you know, that can lead you into, you know, starting to surmise about what all that is. So it's not an easy thing to take. And I think, you know, personal agendas, it could be, you know, people are just, they start to feel the cognitive dissonance and they run away from it. And I can totally understand that because I've been...
But there is definitely, I would say there is definitely an undertone of organised. There's definitely groups, because when I went on the channel, there was just 3 of us, right? And within about 5 minutes, it was just, and everyone a ball earth. I was like, oh, here we go. But I had a good time. I had to say it was a good time. But at the end of it, I have to say, I came to the conclusion. I thought, oh my God, man, these people are so far gone. They weren't even willing to and I wasn't even taught, it wasn't even anything to do. I was talking about a device and how a device worked. And if they admitted that the device worked the way that I said it worked, well, that would have meant the world was flat, and they would have freaked out, and so they were having none of. But they weren't having none of it. They were attacking me, saying, "You don't know what acceleration is," and I said, "Well, inside a gyroscope, it's a measure of movement." "No, it's not. It was another." I said, "Well, no, there's a mass inside there, and when it moves, it gets measured. So therefore, it's a measurement of movement of, when the airplane moves or whatever. There's a mass inside an accelerometer. It just moves, it shifts, and then it's analysed, and then there's an electrical pulse done to the attitude thing, and it adjusts accordingly." But they wouldn't even admit that what I was saying. They couldn't, but although it was a fact, it was in the paper. They wouldn't even look at the paper,
Same as anything. It's the same way that the observable reality about the physics of water. They just try any excuse. But sorry, I'm just going to take the opportunity just to mention this here. I've still got it up. I'm not at the end of it yet, but Rob Durham, I don't know if you're aware of Rob Durham.
No.
He does great work, extensive stuff on gyroscopes. So I highly recommend, Ali, that you take a look.
I'm on it.
Aye, definitely, man. It's the same for anybody else watching. The guy's works.
Sorry, what's his name again, Del? Say that again.
Rob Durham, Durham.
Albert.
No, Rob.
Oh, Rob Durham. Right, okay.
Even if you don't, I'll send you a link to his channel. But him, along with, there's so many others who I appreciate, do some great work. But I seen that one a day, and it's just you brought it up, so I thought I would mention it there.
Yeah, do that. It's always good to anything anybody sees. You should. I recommend to anybody, if you find anything at all to do with whatever, just send it. Send it to someone that's interested in it, and let them go through it, and then and discuss it. We can just. I like to read the technical papers anyway. So if anybody wants to, give me something to read, I'm more than happy to have a right good look at it.
Nice one. I'm sure you'll appreciate Rob's work there.
I've got him there. Right there we go. 16 vids. I'm going to subscribe.
Nice.
Thanks very much, Del.
Good work.
Yeah.
So that's it. There's so many realities pointing to, clear in the face what it is. It's only these fanatics who are in denial, but it's spreading, So.
Yeah. It's just, as I say, these people just. They do have an agenda, and it's just I was saying if we could learn how not to trigger the ones that the politicians go for, the undecided lot, because that's really the ones, the people we should be at least introducing the idea, or try not to trigger that that preconceived picture of, if you say flat earth, it's
that's it. That's what I'm big on. And I've always said it clearly in every one of my videos, what I mean by flat earth. And people need to stand up for themselves in that sense. Nobody has a right to pin any form of their preconception onto anybody else and generalise, But that was part of the manipulation, the defence mechanism of manipulators, if you like. These ridiculous notions and ideas of flat earth that were put out into society deliberately, obviously, for me. And pushed as such. So, and now even today, still got people grasping onto the same imagery and the same ideas of what flat means. But again, don't let anybody, pin anything on you. It's up to you to define what you mean by flat. Flat for me was just the trigger words, what was being trending and what everybody was focusing on. And obviously water's flat and level anyway, so
we'll say level from now on. I'll try and take the flat out of my thing, and I'll say level.
Level earth.
Level earth, yeah. Level-headed, level earth, yeah.
It's so hard to put a label on it anyway, because, it's an ongoing thing. Nobody has the full objective view. So, as I say, you can say flat earth in your title, and it's up to you to define what you mean by flat earth. So,
yeah, I just put that in there. Because it gets more drawings, but more more views. But I only put a video out when I can kind of be bothered. I've got loads ideas for videos and loads of documents that I've meant to make videos, but you know, it does take, it's a lot of work. So, but this is great. You get a forum. It's actually good that these Google Hangouts, you get a forum. If you can't make videos, fucking get on here and say what you've got to say, man. Just come on. Dale doesn't bite. He fucking doesn't, man. You know what I mean?
I'm just body, you know. I don't have an agenda against anybody. That's the whole point, and that's the beauty of this, because you can get the chance to speak to people. You know, if you're just doing a vlog, you do your vlog, and then you know you get some comments. You know, and you maybe don't get a chance to comment back, and the communication gets lost. This is a much better.
It's verbal, isn't it? You know.
Aye.
It's verbal. You know, the written word can be so misconstrued. It's you could be saying the nicest thing and complimenting someone, but the person, you're retard. You know what you call me? I didn't mean it that way. You know, and it's stupid. You know,
communication breaks down. It's so easy. But getting back to what you were saying about these guys and how you enjoyed yourself, it was the same for me. You know, when I discovered they were operating these groups on like Facebook and stuff, it was a great opportunity for me to sharpen my tools, because I stuck in and I could see every angle they were trying and all the different avenues they were trying. It gave me the chance to, you know, pull it apart. You know, only because I knew they were pushing an agenda, not because I had something to defend and I wanted something to be true. As I explained it the other day, you know, there's a difference when people use circumstantial evidence and actual proof, you know, and that's what I'm interested in. You know?
Yeah, I think there's more circumstantial evidence for the level Earth than there is proof, you know what I mean? But there is absolutely, well, I'm not saying absolutely no proof for the ball, but I mean, it's not looking good. It's not looking good, man. But it's not looking good. Let's just say that it's not looking good for them.
I think the ball can be a bit flat.
Yeah. But it's strange, as I say, how these people actually, you know, they actually hang on to these. They're hanging on to these beliefs with such a passion, and it's kind of hard to get your head, around the actual.
I've seen a lot of these types, you know, and a lot of this kind of attitude was involved in the creationism evolution debates. And they would always, you know, we are scientific, we are atheists, we are for science. You know, but then when you try to pull them up on real science, actual testable, measurable, provable, they don't want to know. They all of a sudden forget, you know, and they don't even see that what they follow is a religion. Philosophical materialism is a religious stance. You know, they don't even realise that that's what they're following. You know?
Yeah, well, that's it. They don't even, people that believe in the ball Earth don't actually know some of the most ridiculous things that they believe in, because they've not really looked into it. So, you know what I mean? Like, well, it's phenomenal speeds and light years, light's constant, when light isn't a fucking constant. You know what I mean? Do you know if you know the dilation of space, right? So you imagine light's going past a gravitational force, a dilation, you know, the time's dilating, it's going round the side of a fucking planet or whatever. That means it has to travel longer. That means obviously it must travel slower, or it slows down because of they're now trying to bring out that fucking light is matter. They're actually trying to put this into people's heads now, that it's changing. They do it slowly but surely. In about 10 years, people are probably forgetting that light is, you know, light only manifests when it hits here, and that's electrons that you're actually seeing. That's not light. That's not a reflection of light. That's actually electrons firing, because it's the electrons that cause the light in the first place. You know, they agitate and they go, poof, it's like an explosion. So that's the light, and the light's in between there. You can't see light. It's not even. I don't even buy into the fact it's a spectrum, because if it's, they said it's a spectrum, but that's not an experiment, because they're already putting it through something and changing it. You know, that could change it totally, and then it comes out in the colours. Well, that's great, but it could be a property of the glass that's breaking that down, and not a property of the light. So the glass could be changing the light into the spectrum, rather than being a true representation of what light is, because light's invisible. I always say that light, the travelling stuff, because it's got to get from one place to the other through whatever.
Well, you know, I was looking at there's a guy called Theoria Apophasis. I'm not sure if you're aware of him.
I have, right? Yep.
He's got a lot of really interesting things to say regarding light. And it was fast. It's something, it's not a subject I can claim to know much about. But listening to the guy and what he was saying, made a lot of sense. He's talking about how nothing's emitting light. You would need to look at it and listen for yourself and get through it. As I say, it's not my subject, so I don't want to, start talking about it for fear of looking daft, because
but you should never. Don't be like that. You should.
Yeah,
you should.
I want to learn.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can actually go through the learning process yourself. Like when you're having a conversation with someone, you're saying something, and you might actually take your knowledge a bit further and go, oh, all right, and it could be a fact. But if you hold yourself back from feeling like a fool or whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's a balance as well, Del. It's like, it's not just all about. But I'm just pointing out that if you do explore into these subjects, you might not know nothing about it, but talking to someone might give you ideas of a good way of passing on the knowledge in an easier way, a more layman's terms or whatever, because your brain's analytical and you're translating something that most people wouldn't understand because it's mostly gobbledygook.
That's the whole problem. I'm a practical guy. That's what I've always been, and that's the way natural shit science should be for me. I can learn anything. I can pick up anything, learn anything, as long as somebody has practical examples to show and reference what they're actually saying. So that's just about that attitude. We have got the ability to learn. Spot on, man.
No, so that's it's always good, and it's always good exploring these avenues, because it can bring you into the, how it affects people socially or from the education system. Because I sort of kind of believe that, you already believe this, that I think things are implanted. They're put visually, verbally throughout our lives, so that we're actually, when we're born, we're a product of our environment. Yeah, exactly. Culture, environment, our parents or whatever. So, and it's kind of the question. I think it's more about discovering what are your own ideas and what are the ideas that's been implanted in you. And I think eventually, the more you think about it, the more it's actually glaringly obvious what's been been put into you and what isn't. But you have to. Well, you have to stimulate your brain to come to these conclusions. So it's always good to talk about it, and explore the ideas. So
people have been sold this idea that we're super advanced and clever and we know all this stuff, But as I pointed out the last time, I can pick that mobile phone up and I can look clever because I can operate it. But you ask somebody what's actually fucking going on with that thing, right? And they know absolutely nothing about the internal workings, the processes. They know nothing about it. So we're not that clever.
But they'll try and fool you that they do know about it. I like to, sorry, quick off the subject, compliment. I was impressed the way that was a great thing you told that story about. You went out and you talked to a builder the other day, and you were on about the level. You were like, about levels. It was a great way. I was well impressed. I thought, right, because I'm straight and the earth is flat. Did you know that? But I am, because I don't give a fuck. But I was thinking, well, maybe it's a bit too much out there. So I thought, right, that's good. So it's made me think of not just a builder, but just like anybody, how you could
tailor. You need to tailor how you're going to get it across, depending on who they are. I need to be a wee bit cunning with it and suss the situation out. I've been like you myself.
That's brilliant, man. Yeah.
In an ideal world, I'd be like that. And I just fuck it. It's fucking flat. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Retard. Turn into a ball earther.
But you realise that's not the methods. It's not going to work that way. And they never achieved their manipulations by just screaming it onto people. They were subtle and organised and plotted it through time.
Yeah, exactly.
They appeal to people on all the different levels, emotionally, psychologically, and that's how they play them. So I said that at the beginning, employ the same tactics.
That's it, yep.
Unfortunately, people are in that position. So you can use these tactics, but the difference is that you're trying to bring them into awareness and no ignorance. You know?
Yeah, it's a good place. It's a good place you're bringing them into, rather than a horrible place. You know, like you're not trying to manipulate them. You're just trying to.
No. Well,
Yeah.
it is using manipulative tactics, but you're not trying to manipulate them into a a lower position, or for your own ends. My own ends is just to have critical thinking people, as many as I can, run about me.
Exactly, to make your life better. That's I was talking about it, whether it's selfish or not. Being selfish is a good thing, because if that's what you're selfish about, wanting to, it's like the benefit to all. It benefits you, but it's automatically it's going to benefit everybody else as well. So, because then to start that, to think of that, surround themselves with, and if everybody thinks, I just want to surround myself with fucking critical.
If your life's better, my life's better.
It's no whatever,
That's it. And if your life's better, everybody else's life, my life's going to be better. It's not hard.
Yeah, definitely.
And people think, you need drama, you need all these fucking, healthy drama is good. Drama like problem solving. No fucking, I don't like him, and she's got pink hair, and I don't like her because of such and that's just idiotic drama. That's part of the illness that humans are suffering from,
And it's encouraged through programs like Jeremy Kyle, Oprah Winfrey, Dr. Phil, and all that. I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was saying, about film. I says what they do with film is they create situations that happen every day that everybody can recognise. But what happens is the characters are given the wrong emotional reaction, if you know what I mean. So you're going to copy that. You think, especially kids, they'll think, well, that's the normal reaction. Because have you never sat watching a film and you're like, no, don't say, what did you say that for? You knew, and that's what they do. They're brainwashing the kids and giving them false reactions, putting real life situations on the telly, but the people are acting out false reactions, the opposite reaction, rather than not going down into the cellar when fucking creepy music's playing in the background kind of thing, and you've heard a bang. You wouldn't do that, right? But it's the same kind of thing, but like psychologically, or how people interact with each other on films is not real fucking life, and it's false emotions, false everything, and it's I feel it's attacking our kids' psyche. That's where they're learning their manners, because the government or whatever, they've got our kids' office for 8 hours a day. So it's kind of easy how it perpetuates, and
there's no balance between logic and emotion. It's all the manipulation's emotional based and trying to keep you on that level. And that's, you can see it clear as day, as you say, with film, TV. It's all, things like Jeremy Kyle, or these, what's the American one, the Jerry Springer show.
You're showing your age there now, mate.
it's just about, idiots shouting at each other, and whoever it is in the middle egging them on. It's never about resolving, understanding the psychology and what's really happening between people. They're just playing on it and encouraging it,
And people are sucking it up.
Take sides with this one, and you go to the House of Parliament, and that's exactly what they're up to. You get numpties on one side and numpties on the other side, and they're going, fucking acting like fucking monkeys.
And that's the people that's in charge of our fucking lives, making our decision and doing financing and taking us to war. And people, but see, the thing is, it gets me is people sit and watch that. They'll go to work. Did you see they fucking idiots shouting and bawling and hanging like that? Yeah. Anyway, going to the match this weekend. Yeah, any problems? What fucking chance have we got? You know what I mean?
It's the whole thing you were talking about earlier about the culture. And they adopt this thing. Well, it's just the way life is, and it's so strong and so powerfully rooted within them that they really believe that. It's not even questionable. It's just the way life is. And yet they don't understand that it's not. It's a construct. This is a construct. The whole reality is a construct. Everything that you're living is a construct of the mind. Nothing's true, because for a start, you don't even know where you are. You don't know who you are and why the fuck you're here. So how can you have a grip on reality and make claims of that's just life and that's just the way it is? What are you basing that on?
Yeah, exactly. They've got a horrible saying in here in Denmark, because Denmark's quite a they're actually they love their enslavement, if I can say that, which they do. They actually kind of worship the government, and they'll protect their government, and they won't enter into discussion. They'll talk about it, but they've got this saying, and it goes, "Sodden or leave it," right? And such is life. They'll go about bitching about the government. This guy, minister, got bribed this and did it, and they'll go into a big rant, and then they'll, at the end of it, sodden or leave it though. Such is life. And I'm like, are you fucking serious, man? Are you serious? It's like, then back to work. And not ever nothing, and then they'll go to vote for these people that they've, you know what I mean? It's
for me, it's instilled in them for young. The hierarchy, that hierarchical structure. Look up to someone else or some other authority who knows better than you, who will dictate the rules and what's going to happen. And some people are just so ingrained with that type of mentality that they'll just worship it blindly like that. It's just life. That riles me when I hear these sayings. It's just life, and it's just the way it is. Fucking what? No wonder we're in this fucking situation with an attitude like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say here. But the worrying thing with Denmark is, I mean, it's like everybody. They really are. Everybody's basically of that attitude. Even the ones that are copped on to this. And my mate, he knows governments are crap and did that, but he still called us as human beings parasites. I go, because he was talking about we're destroying. I says, wait a minute, we're not destroying the planet. I'm not destroying the planet. You have to understand, everybody from their birth have been manipulated into thinking that we need shit. This is old shit. Everybody knows this. This is basic shit that everybody should know, and yet it still stays it still stays the same, that attitude, even though they know, the government's corrupt and dinner, but yet they don't put one and one together and think, maybe we should just tell them to fuck off, just turn their backs on it and just ignore them. Just don't vote. Just don't vote.
Just don't participate.
That is exactly it.
If they want to have a position, then the position should be based on what we want. And representing logic and empirical facts and proofs. No emotional manipulation, propaganda. People talk about it just the same again. They know that the media's full of propaganda and the news and governments use propaganda, but that's just
such is life.
It's good to watch.
Yeah. It's amazing how it. But it's things. And it's like so. The next thing probably would be to discuss would be, right. So we know this. We know this as cognitive thinkers. Everybody probably listening here kind of knows this. So now we've got the problem. How we're going to solve the problem of getting our point. That way that you've done that. That's a great start. I'm going to actually try and do that. Think more when. Because that's a great way. Because you're a builder, aren't you? Yeah, and you use spirit level things, yeah. And then from there, I mean, it's like adapting that idea and taking it into anybody, because you could use that, but in anybody's kind of life, and maybe, and then like what you do, you give them a wee talk, and then see you, mate, and 100%, they're going to have a wee, or they're going to tell someone. Or whatever, there's going to be a discussion, whether it be that guy was an idiot. Oh no, I think it was sounding right. No, he was in it, but they're still going to discuss it, and that's what needs to get done.
It does, it affects, it impacts them right away. Because you see, especially like cognitive guys, especially builders, engineers, mechanics and stuff, they have that capacity to understand how things work. So, you lead them, obviously you play up to them, you go, you're a smart guy, you're an engineer, you're already playing to their ego and pampering them. And then you just lead them in with a sequence of, so that's why. So therefore, how can this be true then?
Yeah. And so there's only one answer to that is
cabbage.
No, it's not. It's brain meltdown, isn't it, man?
Right. But usually they will through it. It's gravity. I go, we've just went through and understood that you can't observe or test that on any level or scale. But, we're back to, it's gravity. but that's, you see the mechanisms then, you know, you see them actually working, and it's like a robot breaking down and just firing out the fucking default code.
That's it. Yeah. It's the magic word that cures everything, man. I think do you think we should copyright that word, actually, gravity. Gravity insurance. There's Coriolis. We've got Coriolis insurance over in Freechan, so you could maybe get gravity insurance over in Dell's channel beyond the imaginary curve, you know. For all your needs, gravity insurance.
I can see a time though in the too distant future where words like globe and gravity will be considered bad words.
Bad words.
Will be more acceptable.
Yeah, I know.
Gravity.
Aye. Do you think? Do you honestly think it'll ever get to that? That'll be. Do you think they'll you know, maybe they'll release it after they've locked down, because I believe there's not many. This is for another show because I haven't got enough time for this. But I believe there's a big lockdown coming very soon, about 8 years, 2025. There's been a lot of papers written about this Agenda 21 that everybody knows about. And I mean, basically that's where it'll be pay-as-you-go electricity. You'll be given an allowance, right? You'll be given an allowance of water and electricity for the month. And if you use that allowance, you'll have to pay. It's like on a pay-as-you-go, and that's coming in 2025. 100%, hand on my heart, it's coming, whether people like it or not.
As I was saying, you know, another discussion, I've got a few ideas about that and where I think they might try and go with it. So definitely, man, next time.
Oh, nice man, because nobody talks about this stuff, man.
No idea, you know, I've spoken about it.
Man.
You know, I looked at it, you know, just to be quick, you know, people talk about that Agenda 21 and these doomsday scenarios, and I was thinking, well, if you wanted to maintain control, you would have to build people into this peak of a frenzy, you know, this impression that there is an evil or a bad doing, and, you know, the only solution after that is to resolve it and try and offer people a better way of life. You know, if you want to keep people on your side and you want to keep them in control, I don't think locking them down. I think that's just a ruse. That's
but that was more of an exaggerate, a lockdown. Nobody's going to lose their freedom, right? But the thing is, in 10 years' time or whatever, I'll be 10 years older, right? People like us, the people that are, you know, they're getting older and older. It's the younger people that are taking the jobs that will be deciding our lives for us. They've got them, Dale. They're brainwashing them now to believe any shit. These are the people that are going to come in 2025. You'll be facing a guy in the council when you go and say to him, hey, by the way, you've not collected my rubbish or what, but that's because you owe fucking £100 because there's a new law brought in. But what are you going to do about it? Is your neighbour going to fucking come round, or your community going to come round your protect or nothing? No, they won't. And this is what they've done. They've separated this, and they're breeding a new generation of kids that where, you know, it's normal to pay for your electricity on the fucking, go down to the local post office and say, can I get 5? We're already doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and this is coming. It's not a doomsday or anything. This is 100. I could convince you. This is true. You know, and it's not a doomsday because it's nothing to be scared of. Because if you know what's happening, you can work within it and be like a ninja, but not like a ninja, but where it doesn't affect you. You know.
Well,
it's living within it, because we won't be able to do fuck all about it, kind of thing, unless barring a war or a revolution, and they don't work.
Well, you know, as you witness today, you know, with my daughter, there's people like us who, you know, speak to our kids, you give them the critical skills. I'm not imposing anything on my kids, you know, apart from question everything. And you know, this is what proof is, and that's not what proof is. And, you know, so, and if somebody, I don't know who it was now, I'll go back and say their name, you know, made a great point. It only takes one generation. You know, if you get one generation who can start thinking differently and become aware of these things, then there's no stopping that.
Yeah, but that's the one generation of parents, remember.
That's it.
Right. But how many parents do you know that's like yourself?
Well, it's, you know, I'm seeing a huge difference now. You know yourself, Ali.
Yeah, that's true.
10, 15 years ago, you said to somebody, by the way, the lines in the sky are no, I don't think that's meant to be happening. And there might be the chance that there's, you know, elite groups who are running everything. You know, they were just like, fuck off. You know, it was everybody was. This is just normal. It's just all happening like this, and nothing's contrived. You know, but now they actually know. No, this is planned. This is actually deliberate. So it's just, you know, unfortunate for us. I think, you know, you're just a wee bit further down the line, and sometimes you get lost and think, oh, it's not happening. But then you stop and have a wee look. You hear things in your social circles, and you know that it is. It's growing. That people are starting to think differently. So. Aye.
Oh yeah, there's always optimism. See, I wasn't saying that with a pessimistic attitude, because I'm an optimist about that. But it's just the point that we need to look at these things. That if it does happen, we have to be prepared, because I can assure you, people, if it does, right, just say it's not, just say it is going to happen, which I'm almost convinced, you know, 98%. If it does, there's going to be a lot of people that's going to turn around and go, what the fuck? They're just going to be 1 minute, la-di-da-da, and next minute, what do you mean? I've not got any more credit for my electricity, and you know, getting shuttled to, you know, like they're building robots. There's self-driving cars. There's your taxi driver Offski. There's self-driving lorries, last wheels that are running about Germany. Mercedes have been running about the autobahns in Germany for the last 5 years with an autonomous last wheel, and people are watching this. There's hotels of, you know, they're doing the little what do you call it, tests in Japan. There's a hotel where there's no service, nobody's serving there, restaurants with no servers. They're little testing. You know, they're not doing it for no reason. You know, they're not doing it just for fun. It's not a gimmick. It's not a gimmick, you know.
See, but that's something I want to talk about maybe the next time. You know,
Cool.
Things like that don't really necessarily need to be feared. You know, if you apply that with something like the Venus Project that I've highlighted before, you know, because for me that's been given funding, it's not been shut down, and it's continuing to go. So there I can look at that and go, is that going to be one of the offers for a new paradigm? You know, and if you don't know about the Venus Project, check it out.
Was that down in what was it? Just give it a quick one.
Venus Project's a guy, Jack Fresco. He's been doing this since the 60s or 70s. You need to go and check him out yourself. I think the one you're talking about's what's the place in Scotland? Is it Findhorn? There's an eco village there that's something like it, that's been running since 1985. I think
I actually got invited there by one of my friends. Bunch of fucking hippies, man. Fuck it.
But again,
yes, man. You know, that's just my opinion. I don't care, but you know, tough. Nobody likes it. Tough tits.
They're allowed to speak your mind, right?
Yeah, well, that's it. But you know, nobody. Yeah. Well, that's it. I've just had a. Yeah, I've just. You know, we've all met a few people of certain place, and you know, it's so true, Dale. You must admit, there's in certain areas, there's people that actually they act the same. You know, they've got the same mentality and it's as if it's from a certain area they've came from and it's like a contrived mentality. I think we've broken loose, and there's plenty of people like us, you know, and we've broken loose from that. And it'd be really good to find, if we could find that magic bullet that you just walked up to someone and went bing, and they went, okay, fucking hell, converted, man, but it's not happening, is it?
It's plodding away the way it's going, you know, it's spreading, it is growing. So
yeah, right. Listen, Dale, I need to go. This place is going to close down just in about 6 minutes, mate.
I appreciate your time.
That was a pleasure, mate. It's always a pleasure to come on. Hi to John. Tian, is it Marshall? Is it Tian?
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, man.
Nice.
We'll catch up on the back channel, dude. I just thought I'd give you the airtime, like, you know. Yeah, that's about it, dude. Well, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you private. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Yeah, well, just get my Skype number off it, and we'll have a wee meet up sometime offline so we can have a right good chat about shit. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet, dude. Yeah.
Would that be okay, Dale? Yeah, we go for it.
Also, we'll look forward to the next chat as well. We'll do another live one, and you know,
100%, and hopefully I'll get on a wee bit. Hopefully I'll get on a wee bit longer, because I'd like to stay on for the duration, you know, because it's, you know, I was a bit shitty. I had to leave the last time, so.
But, yeah, I'm in there right now, bro.
Good luck, guys.
Right, Ali, take it easy, man. Thank you.
Nice one, guys. Have a good night. Yep.
Jarek,
yes.
Jarek, I'm in there right now. Are you with me?
Who's this? Sorry, who have we got here? Subphotonic.
Yeah, Jerry Camp here. Jarek just got me in here with you guys.
Hi, man. How you doing?
Good. A pleasure to meet you. Jarek put me up in here.
Nice one.
Hey, Jarek, do you want to let me go, or do you want me, and so I can talk with these guys, or are you going to stay on with me on the Facebook video talk? Okay, I'll talk. Thanks, Jarek. Okay. All right. Sorry. All right. Hey, there you are. How you doing?
How you doing, bud? You all
Pleasure
right?
to meet you.
You too, man. I checked your channel out earlier on. Jarek had sent me a wee link. I watched your questions that Globetards ask. I found it quite funny.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, dude, they start asking the most craziest questions, like how do seasons work? They haven't taken any due diligence or responsibility at not even one thing. They just start expecting you to do all the work for them.
Yeah, yeah. Answer my questions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the reason they don't practice in a vacuum is because it's too dangerous. So what are you going to do when you got to go into space then?
Yeah.
Fake space, it doesn't exist. There's not even how do you know vacuums? There's no vacuum in space because space doesn't exist in the 3 dimensions. There's a fucking dome up there. You can prove a dome's up there, and you can prove it.
Well, you would need to offer your proof. You know, one of my stipulations here is claims, you know, require proofs. I try not to have anybody making claims without any solid proof. So I can appreciate, I say we live in pressure. If somebody's claiming there's a vacuum up there and we live in a positive pressure system, then observable, testable reality tells you that there must be a solid separation between the two.
Absolutely. Look, it contradicts itself. You can't have a vacuum with an atmosphere. It's completely contradictory.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of it. It's the opposite of the definition of a vacuum.
Yeah.
They always do everything in reverse. These freaks, man.
Yeah.
Is my camera okay?
Now that's the problem. You know, they don't have any practical examples of any of these claims that they make. So
I can't tell if. Can you see me okay?
I can see you, man. Yeah.
Okay, I'm the redheaded freak.
There's a few red-headed freaks about here.
Oh yeah, nice.
I was starting to get suspicious and thinking maybe it's the redheads that are the psychopaths and narcissists. You know, is there something in the genes that makes them that way?
Yeah, could be.
So I'm sorry, man. As I say, I don't know much about your channel. I just seen one wee video clip today. So
Say that again. Say that again.
I'm saying I don't know much about your channel. You know, I only had a wee chance to have a look quick this afternoon. Have you been?
Yeah, no. I mean, I live in Pueblo, Colorado, man. I just, I've been like awake for a few years now. Just and then like just wondering, I guess, to eventually start. Maybe I should have made videos a while ago, but at least I started eventually.
Yeah. So have you been aware of it for a while then?
Yeah. I just been awake to flat Earth like the last couple years though. I was awake to everything else, and then for a while there, I mean, I always knew since I was a kid everything was fucked up. I'm like, dude, this ain't right. Even since I was a kid, I'm like, this, and there's nothing you can do about it because you're a kid and everything's retarded. So you just go on and you just forget about it and try to forget about it. And then eventually it got to the point where I thought it was like, at the level of where it's just like it's just a local thing, and then I got to the point where it keeps going higher and higher and higher, all the way up to a spiritual war. It's a spiritual war. This is dimensional. This is so we're being controlled from another dimension clearly. So yeah.
I've got my reservations about claims like that, but I appreciate where you're coming from if that's what your thinking is.
Yeah. We are totally controlled in every aspect. You'll see eventually that everything's rigged, everything's controlled. There is not one thing they do not control. I'm sorry. Even if it appears like they don't, they do. They control everything. You can't make it up. I've never seen anything like it. It blows my mind the way they can do this. I don't know how they get away with it.
Well, they get away with it because people are in ignorance, and it's just as you said. You knew it when you were a kid, but what happens is you try and mould yourself to fit it. You know, and there's a whole process of losing yourself and then rediscovering yourself within that, I think.
Absolutely. Everything's inside you. They want the psyop, and the trick is to get you to look outside yourself. Everything is inside you, your heart. Your heart is the access portal to all that is, and you can access it. That's why people meditate. You're an antenna. When you receive and transmit from the source. That's why you got to keep your back straight when you meditate. You're a receiver. You're a receiver and a transmitter.
Yeah, well, you know,
You're a light being. You're a light being. That's why your chakras are the color of the electric magnetic spectrum. Red is your root chakra, all the way up to your blue throat and your purple crown and your white spiritual chakra.
Cool. You know, I've heard a lot of this stuff through my journey. You know, and I don't want to seem ignorant to what you're saying or cut you off, but you know, a lot of that stuff, you know, that's your subjective claim. That's what you believe. I don't believe.
This is all fact. This is all fact, dude. This is
where's your proof?
These things are spiritual. You can't see them, so you're not going to get any.
Well,
you got to do it. You'll know when you go inside yourself. These are true.
Well, you know, everybody's subjective experience is different. You know, I think I draw the line at imposing that on everybody else.
Yeah, whatever, dude. We can talk just flat Earth. It don't matter to me. You'll be there one day. I wasn't. I was right where you are. Believe me.
Well, you know, that's.
You can't see it. Look, if you can't see it, it must not be real. That's where I used to be.
No, that's not where I am at all. You know, I don't doubt that there maybe is metaphysical aspects to this.
I've been completely out of my body, wide awake, like I'm talking to you. You don't need your body until I was forced back into it.
Yeah, well, I had to experience.
Am I just making the shit up? No, of course not.
No, but you know,
I've done it. About millions and millions of other people have done it, gone out of their body, wide awake.
Yeah, so have I. I've you know, experienced sleep paralysis and these types of things, but again, it's not something that, you know, I can show people and how to access it. It's not an exacting thing. So right now, it's still a subjective experience. And just like guys like Rupert Sheldrake say, you know, it's not that you know, deny any of that stuff's there. It's that it needs more consideration. It needs to be looked at in depth more in order for us to get a better understanding.
I won't even talk that way. I'm just trying to help you out.
Aye. I will appreciate it.
I don't have to talk about it. We don't have to talk about that. We can just talk about flat Earth.
Aye. Well, you can talk about whatever you want, man. But you know, obviously, my stance is when people are making claims about certain things, then you know I've got to see it clearly that you know there has to be proof of that. There's a difference between somebody's subjective experience and the objective truth.
Yeah, well, I'm a little bit spiritual, and there's a lot of other people that are too. So.
Yeah, well, spiritual again, you know, means something different to different people. You know?
I'm not religious, so I'm pretty much anti-religion, man. Religion to me is nothing more than a control mechanism. Every one of them, they've all been taken over. Maybe in the beginning it was good, or somehow it was good, but they've all been twisted. They're no good now. They're all controlled. They're all manipulative. They teach you the reverse of truth.
Well, I think. Anybody who claims to know what the objective truth is religious, and as far as I'm concerned.
If what now?
Anybody who claims to know the objective truth of who we are and what this reality is, as far as I'm concerned, is religious, because I have seen no proof at any of these claims about who we are, spiritually or anything else.
Yeah, well, that's where you're at, man. I've seen a lot. You haven't seen, obviously, then.
That's it. You know, well, if you can share proofs.
I'm not trying to prove anything. I don't even need to prove nothing. I don't want to prove anything to you. I don't have nothing to prove.
That's fine.
Believe me. Don't believe me.
That's fine.
I could care less.
That's fine. You know, you're entitled to say what you want, and I'm entitled to question it and say my stance on it. So, you know, I appreciate that. You know. So, so anyway, man, thanks very much for your time. And maybe, you know, it'd be good to have a wee chat with you, maybe in private.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not, it's all good. You don't have to be spiritual for me at all. I could care less. Yeah, I mean, it's the flat Earth is very important to wake people up, because it's like the biggest lie. I don't know how they get away with it.
I just need to get back, you know, it's not that I'm saying I'm no spiritual or whatever that means. You know, don't misunderstand me. It's
You're
just
spiritual. You don't even know it. You're spiritual. If you care about humanity, you're spiritual, in my book. Yeah, if you care deeply about humanity, which you must, because you're sitting here talking to me now, you're spiritual. That's spiritual to me. To me, that's spiritual. Caring about your fellow man, caring that we're getting, this is like a prison. This is an electromagnetic, this is a Tesla coil system. You know, that's what we're living in. It's a Tesla. Tesla says this is a Tesla coil system. So what did he do? He replicated it, okay, and tried to give us free energy. And JP Morgan came along and said, what? We can't put a meter on this shit? We're going to frickin' blackball your ass.
Yeah. I agree with you there. I think a lot of the technology are based on reverse engineering how this reality actually works.
This reality is a prison, clearly. We've been trapped here. This is a soul trap.
I've played with that idea myself.
It's a matrix. This is a fractal hologram. A flat plane is the only way you can have a hologram. This is a hologram, a fractal hologram.
Again, man, you know, so I'm sorry for butting in. I don't know. You've obviously not checked my channel, but you know, I can't have just claims being made about what this reality is. You know, you need to show proof for that. If you get proof of these claims on your channel.
Okay, what are you saying it is then? Why don't you prove something?
What do you mean proof? So I'm
just telling you, this is a fractal hologram. It's a fake matrix.
Where's your proof? Where's your proof? My
intuition. I've seen the proof. You don't see the proof by the design. It's a prison. Everything in it's designed to trap you. Right. Everything in it is designed to oppress you and absorb and harvest you. Can't you see that? You don't see that? Everything is designed like a prison. You can't see that it's a prison?
There's a difference between logically looking at the situation and the reality of the situation and then jumping to other claims.
I've done a lot of research, dude, about it. You gotta look. All the ancients wrote to us about a lot of stuff that they know more than we do now. Okay, truth has been withheld from us, and if you read all the different ancients and then it resonates and matches up with what you see, then you have discernment. It's called discernment.
Yeah. So this is the problem, you know. I don't understand. I don't know your channel. I said that at the beginning. So you know, we're having a discussion based on no knowing what each other's journey is
at all.
So you know,
that's all right. Hey, we're brothers.
That's it.
In humanity, however you look at it, we're brothers in humanity.
Aye, well, that's it, man. But what I'm going to do, mate, is you know, hopefully you can come back on again another time, and I'll check out your channel and I'll try and understand, you know, where you're coming from and what it is you're saying, and then we can have a better discussion.
We're individuated consciousness. Everything. I can't prove this. That's right. Okay, everything is. You're a light being. There's consciousness. There's spirit, and we're individuated spirit. Everything, all the way back up to this, like, there's duality all the way up to the like 8th dimension, and then it's all wholeness again. You know? Yeah, I know. I can't prove it to you. Hey, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. You have layers above us and below us. If you think this is the only reality, dude, I don't know what to tell you, bro. If you think this is it, you know, you're just not seeing anything. You're not seeing. You're not aware of anything.
You don't know what I think, man. This is what I'm trying to say to you. I think.
Yeah, dude, I gotta go.
Cheers.
But it's all good. It's all good. I love you, man.
See you later, mate. Here again, you know, this is one of these issues where people just start jumping and think they know who you are and what you're. You know, that's communication I can't deal with. You know, and I try to explain. You know, maybe if I get a chance to understand the guy's channel and understand what it is he's trying to say, or if he can communicate his points, you know, in a discussion, that's fine. But you know, I've met so many of this, especially, you know, truth movement, of these people who they know the whole reality. You're a light being and you're this and you're that. You know, that's extraordinary claims. It's not that I'm rubbishing any of that, but you know, you just can't jump to making it as a fact and statement. But as I say, I'll get the guy's channel name in a minute, and I'm going to check it out and see what the guy's got to say. You know, everybody's entitled to say what they want. But again, you know, if you're coming here, You know, I'm up for discussion, but you start telling me that you know who I am and who I'm spiritually and what I'm all about and where I'm, you know, I've got a wee problem with that, because we're not listening to each other then. You know, it's just a situation of somebody telling somebody else their subjective view. That's fine, but you need to understand the discernment between subjectivity and objectivity. You know, we can discuss for subjective experiences, but to start making claims that it's the objective truth, that's where I've got an issue. So I appreciate you coming on. I'll find that name again shortly. I'm just going to have a wee look in chat, see what's happening. How's things, Marshall? I've not even had a chance to look in the chat, man.
I've had no chance to do anything but look at the chat, dude. You know, Lenny Harry's commenting here. I think he misunderstands, dude. There's no problem with the guy coming and explaining what his belief is. He just cannot demand your acceptance without anybody else's acceptance without showing proof of a claim. You know, nobody's condemning the guy's personal belief, and that's really what we all want to hear. We want to hear everybody's beliefs.
Aye.
And the thing that resonates with all of us is quite likely to be closer to the truth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's just you've got to draw a line. You know, if people watch it back, you can see the communication breakdown. It's because, you know, somebody has a passion in what they believe and what they think is true. You know, and anybody who doesn't get that, you know, there's something wrong with them, or they will get there. You know, I'm fair with anybody, but, you know, I would never push to anybody to know the objective truth or reality. And I would expect somebody, you know, if I come and speak to you and say, you're just a light being, you don't get it, and you go, that's not a level of communication from me.
No, so, he could get his mother to come on and objectively state his self-improvement.
So,
well done, Lenny.
The point is, you know, I'm up for discussion, you know, and we can discuss it, you know, and understand when we're talking about subjective things, you know, but there's a difference when somebody's just telling you this is how it is and then taking offence because you're questioning it. That's the issue, you know.
Absolutely,
and that tells me a lot. When you only ask questions and you want to question the claims that are being made, people don't like it because they start to realise that they don't really have the answers and the proof. You know, it's just something that suits them and something that they like. So I'm hearing noises here. Hang on. We got somebody in. Who's this? John.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hi, John.
You all right?
Yeah, great. Thanks. I see you're having a good variety of guests.
Aye, it's good to see.
Aye.
Hopefully more time goes on, it will encourage people to come in and have a say.
Yeah, great. I've got a little bone to pick with you though. Ali was telling me he's getting a bigger check than I am. What's going on? Yeah. I thought it was all open and fair.
Ali strokes my ego there, John. Oh, you need to work harder.
I'll have to get a pay rise and do a bit more stroking the ego.
I mean, you guys are just here for, you know, this is a wee circle jerk, remember, you know, and you're just here to prop me up and all that nonsense.
I promise to try to work harder.
So, how you been? You good?
Good, thanks. Good. Yeah, the last guy that was on, I thought it was very interesting some of the things he was saying, but I sometimes think that people can walk their talk. I think maybe he was just a bit too forward with it all, rather than asking you more what you thought about it. Or
well, it's not a discussion. It's just somebody, you know, preaching. And I can't deal with preaching. I like to discuss and ask questions and try and understand them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that I'm dismissing a guy, but you know, like the communication can break down when it's just preaching and misunderstanding it's going. But as I say, you know, to be fair, you know, as I said at the start, I don't know the guy. I'll need to check his videos out and get a better grasp of what it is he's talking about. And the same for him with me, and then, you know, we know each other, we can you know, have a better discussion. So
yeah, and I think, like, you know, if you're asking more questions rather than how it is, it stimulates more critical thinking and questioning things, I think.
Yeah. I've experienced all this before. I've met so many people, psychic and all these magical, wonderful people who have got access to the higher realms of knowing, and we're light beings, we're this, we're that. There's nothing, never ending a substance.
No, but I know, I think I'm guilty of it myself. I think when you get into something like that, your passions can get carried away sometimes. But we shouldn't be in a position of all knowing and telling anybody else how.
No, on this platform. For here, it's discussion, and and it's never going to change. Bold claims and stuff. I want to get a proof. I would be doing the whole thing a disservice by just letting it go. I've got to ask for proof of claims like that. So it's fine if we're discussing it and it's realised that it is a philosophy and it's an idea that we're discussing and we can go through it. But just to say that it is the truth, I've got an issue with that. So.
It can be his personal truth, though, but he can't demand other people's acceptance of that personal truth. I mean,
that you're right, mate. This is part of the understanding. It's when something's a subjective thing, and when we're talking about objective,
Tina, I even struggle with that when someone says it's my personal truth. Okay, then, so if it's not truth for everybody, is it really truth, or is it not more their interpretation or their perception rather than calling it a personal truth? I would say, well, that's how I see it, or that's my perception. But when put the word truth in it, it means it's real. But we can all be deceived with our own minds or have a false impression of something.
Yes, entirely, and passionate enough to demand other people's acceptance, which is where you need to reel it back a little bit, isn't it? And say, well, no, it's my belief.
Yes, absolutely.
Does it concord with anybody else's belief? Because it's a numbers game again. If we all concur on something, then we're likely to be closer to it being an objective truth.
Or at least you can have it. We can have our preconceived ideas and beliefs challenged by doing exactly what you just said. But when we call it a personal belief, I just struggle with that. I'm not saying it's wrong or I'm judging them, but I really struggle when they say, well, that's my personal truth.
I think people need to become aware of their internal workings, that, if they have these beliefs, internal beliefs, but when somebody actually asks them a question, they start to panic. There should be a level of self-awareness to realise that, hang on, maybe, I'm jumping the gun and I don't have enough to go in here. But I think it's just a matter of communication and understanding the difference between a personal belief, subjectivity, and the objective truth.
Yep.
So again, people misunderstand and think that you're shutting people down. When I can entertain any conversation and discussion as long as it is a discussion, and it's not somebody dictating and preaching to somebody else, because I can't deal with that, and it becomes like confrontational. You'll see it when you watch that back.
Yeah, and I think also what you said before, Del, is about language. Different words can mean different things. Like it was only me there that said, well, I find that I struggle with that word because it means different things to different people. And
that's it. Like language, especially in writing, there's no character, there's no intent behind the words that are there. It's a difficult. That's what I was saying to Ali about this. This is great. Gives people the opportunity to speak to each other face to face and communicate a bit better.
Well, some of us. Jed, you are still here. Dude, you've still got the invite if you want to come in. Jed was suggesting that zero-G flights are proof of gravity, and I think we need to sort of explain that it's controlled falling with we've been through this once already, haven't we? It's not actually when the plane tips up, gravity disappears. So
but what's the representation? Are we claiming the Earth's an aeroplane falling through an atmosphere? I mean,
yeah. So I mean, the base concept of it is flawed, Jed. I don't know. As far as I understand it, perhaps if you wanted to come on, you could clear up what your understanding of that is. as far as I'm aware, the plane tips up and dives to the ground at the same speed that you are then falling at. There is no suspension of gravity, if you want to term it that. So yeah, I just thought I'd clear that up, seeing as Jed's name's come up there.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody who's got a point and thinks they've got something to say, then by all means, the link.
I can also mention that Shroomy was saying, well, how can people circumnavigate the globe, if you like, on a flat Earth? And I don't know if anybody's looked at what circumnavigation actually entails, if you're talking about a ship, but it doesn't just go around. It sort of roughly hugs the continental shapes as it goes, where possible. So you've got no idea of the overall shape of something from that.
Yeah.
Just a couple of points I noted as they passed through, that was all.
Cool. Sorry, man, I've not even had a chance to see what was going on in chat, so I've lost touch with any of the conversations that was happening. I don't even know who's here. There we go. Illuminati, Nathan Oakley, Jed, Q and Fee, how's it going? Yeah, it's a trick in the dive. They claim that they can avoid gravity. If gravity hits a constant force, you cannot avoid it. Now this whole thing about gravity, just where's the practical example and show me what it is you're actually talking about. It's as simple as that. Tone overdrive, I'm going to actually read that mail. Sorry guys, if you get something to say, just carry on. I'm just having a wee look here. We had Vortex Puppy had asked for the link as well, so I'm sure if we'll get another visit. Where is that message? Shit. Sorry, bear with me here.
I could mention something though, if anybody's interested. I saw a video by Dan Pratt. I know people have got mixed opinions about him, but he was mentioning the use of drones as a substitute for meteorological balloons to get visual representations from elevation. I looked into that a little bit. Apparently there are really tight regulations on the height that you can fly a drone at, and it's something in UK, it's something like 400 feet.
That's right, team. I've got a drone myself.
Oh, have you? Right, okay.
400 feet.
Is that strictly enforced, or
Well, if there's an accident, then yeah, because you're only allowed to go to 400 feet because commercial airline or any commercial plane is not allowed to fly below 400 feet. So that's supposed to be a safe airspace. But plenty of people do fly them above 400 feet.
I've seen it. I've seen some video footage of people that have overwritten the software in the drone to get it to do that. Yeah. And they've got it up to substantially more than 400 feet. There's certainly nothing like a meteorological balloon. I think you need some kind of relay mechanism for the control after a certain distance. Is that right?
Well, yeah, depending on what machine, but I've actually seen them on YouTube going up thousands of feet. But the thing is, most batteries only last for 20 minutes. Now, I'm thinking, is this deliberate, or surely they have the technology to make batteries last longer? So I'm thinking, is that so we can't go up that high? And this 400 feet, is that really because of other airplanes, or is that another reason just to keep us below the 400 so we can't see for ourselves?
Well, it's a question that needs to be answered, really, isn't it? Because obviously planes do not fill the sky; they go along established flight routes. So anything outside of that, it seems like a redundant, legislation.
Yeah, although it would do some damage if it hit the cockpit of a small aeroplane. There's some quite large drones that you can get. And,
if it went in the intake of a turbine engine, then it would certainly be catastrophic, I would have thought.
Yeah, and the speeds that go up, mine can go 35 miles an hour, downwind a lot faster. And if that was coming head on with with the cockpit of an aeroplane, reduce some damage.
Right. So offhand, do you know what the legislation is for meteorological balloons then?
No, I don't know. I think you have to get certain permission before you even do that, though.
Yeah, well, if there's a legislation on the height of a drone, I'd imagine it's going to be the same for that then,
Absolutely. A paraglide as well. Now, if I'm paragliding at the weekend up the mountains up north, I've got to phone up airport control to let them know I'm going to be in the area in case there's any low-flying aircraft, like military aircraft. So you need permission for any time you go up a certain height, so that other aircraft know you're there. So.
QNFE saying that there are some good vision of drones flying way above the clouds with the sun at eye level. I've caught a couple. Be excellent if you could link us up with some of the ones that you've seen. What I have noticed is that as they on the ones that in the examples I've seen, as the camera tilts, you can see the barreling of the lens, and when it sits what you would call level, the horizon is flat. So,
unfortunately, a lot of the drones have GoPro cameras, which all have fisheye lenses. But some other cameras do have. Sorry, some other drones do have normal cameras that don't have any fisheye lens. But most of them have fisheye lenses.
Which also begs the question, because it's not a fisheye isn't necessarily what you want in any given situation, is it? So no. To fit them by default seems a little bit contrived.
But then you have to ask them, why are they so common and why are they so popular, especially for aerial photography? Is that deliberate? What use is a fisheye lens unless you want to make a creative video? It doesn't represent reality. It's not showing you the reality of what you're looking at.
No, it makes for an attractive panorama.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's not the most practical imaging.
No, you're right.
Talking about lenses, I'm just going to take this opportunity because you get people who misrepresent you. I shared photographs because I had heard a few people talking about it. Now I shared the photographs just to show that other people are getting this effect, and that also it has to be looked at that it could be a lens effect or any of these factors. I wasn't claiming that was the shape of the sun. It was just to add to people's conversation who had witnessed the same thing. I just want to clear that up. Sorry guys, I'm going to read this Tone Overdrive thing out. Hi Del, nice to see you active on Hangouts. I'm Tony Leckenby. Left many positive comments since your first videos, and I've spoken to you before. Maybe a Hangout chat and swap some guitar stories, etc. and a quick jam one day would be nice, as I think the same as you. Been on FreeChan a lot. I need to check this FreeChan out. Just there to chat really and jam with fellow musicians, but I don't get involved in pathetic insults, etc. Anyway, keep up the good work and looking forward to a quick guitar session, acoustic and electric and guitar gear stories. Keep well. No bother, man. Anytime, just give me a shout for that. I just wanted to read that out before I forgot about it. I need to check that FreeChan out. That's just...
Lenny Harry continued the conversation here, saying focal length. Can you elaborate on that, Lenny? What you mean by that? And Harley Quinn says idiots have no clue. Lol. Well, which idiots, Harley?
Hey bother, Tone Overdrive. Anytime, just give me a shout. Who else have we got here? I'll try to scroll back up this, see if there's any conversation happening. Flyer Vancouver, BC, still here.
He's had his invite as well, though. He'd rather sit there and not elect to come and talk to us.
Schmick Mick Dell, does water fall from the sky? What kind of fucking question is that? Elaborate. Does water fall from the sky? Jenny Harry, he is kicking him because he is interesting and Dale is lost. Well, if I've been there, many years of fucking I'm a light being and, we're from this dimension and it extends out into that dimension and that very well might be true. I don't rubbish that, but, where's the proof? No, if we're having discussion, that's the problem. I can discuss and have philosophical discussion with anybody, but there's a difference when you've just got somebody preaching at you all the time. I think most people would have an issue with that. Can we test or measure spirituality? Lenny, Dale isn't lost, Jonah Worms. I'm a little being slightly overweight. Yes, 7 litre Super Jazz GS. I don't really know what's going on in the chat. It's just obviously people talking to each other there.
You're a ways back, Dale. Lenny's come back and said, aren't GoPros limited by the lens size, so fisheye compensates? I think genuinely, Lenny, it's an issue of getting a broader image onto that CCD. All right, it's not about the actual size of the lens that it's restricted to, and they can be modified anyway.
Yeah, it's something to do with getting the most out of the wide angle lens.
Yeah, entirely.
Illuminati saying he wants to join.
No.
Who's Illuminati?
Send him a link, though, if you want him in here, man. So what did you want to discuss, dude? Or did you just want to come and run riot? Because we're trying to have a sensible conversation here.
You're not allowed to do that, T.
Jarek, how are you?
Oh, hi there. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jarek.
Hi, Jarek.
Oh, Jarek.
How's it going?
Good, thank you.
Good man.
Yeah, I saw that Jerry came in and you have a discussion, right? Sounds
Yeah, we'll
spiritual.
Try to have some discussion.
Yeah, I saw.
It's
this. You cannot prove this whole consciousness and spiritual. I think it's. I don't say that you have to believe in this, but
no, it's a subject that
it's really hard to talk about it, right?
It's a subject that I've got a lot of time for, and I can spend time talking about it and discussing it and various aspects of it. But it's just hard when somebody doesn't understand what it is you're saying, and they're just preaching, and so hopefully we'll get a chance to have the discussion with him again.
Yeah, he's not dumb. That's the thing.
No. How are you, John, on spirituality and consciousness, and do you consider any of that stuff? Or?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, can't get enough of it. But I think it's about walking your walk, and I think if you're going to be that forthright and that I don't know what the word I'm trying to use here, but I think in the world of spirituality, I think the more you know, the less you should say, which I don't always follow myself, as you know. So, and you shouldn't have. I don't think you should be having anything to prove, or that it should be about questioning things and questioning people's.
Yeah, I want to get closer to spirituality and find out about consciousness and who we are, and where I arrived at in my journey is that discovering the objective reality and the real truth of where we are could probably take us a lot closer to who we are and why this is happening and how it came to be.
Yes, agreed.
I done a lot of work within myself and played with a lot of philosophies, mind-body philosophy. So it's a subject that I've got a lot of time for and love to discuss.
It's interesting, like you said there. I spent a lot of time, and I've been. It's like internally, I suppose you spent a lot of time internally and observing yourself and trying to be a better person throughout your life. But then But then say you come on here and you meet people who haven't put a second of that into themselves, and they're abusive and they're competitive and they're angry and they're jealous.
Yeah.
And you think, why did I spend all that time?
Yeah.
Unless I'm meeting like-minded individuals, and you're talking to somebody who hasn't spent a second doing that to themselves. And that's hard.
Still, Fiona, Dale, I am really interested in the psychological impact this has on people and how long it takes. Nearly 2 years for me to get to a place of acceptance that we haven't got a clue where we are. Aye, that's a really interesting thing, and that's the problem. You know, it's for people to accept that they don't know, and to be comfortable in that place is a real struggle. People seem to want certainty, and to be spoon-fed everything, and it's actually really empowering when you get to that place of realization where you go, you know, nobody knows and I don't know, and you know, because it can become exciting, because if we can sort it out, then we have the prospect of that discovery. You know, knowing who we are, where we are, and why it's all, you know, happening is you know, we're pretty much on the verge of that if people can sort it out and start wanting it. You know what I mean?
I think that's quite easy for you, Del, because you're quite secure within yourself and you're quite confident. I don't think everybody's reached that stage of security. So the fear of that unknown space that we're talking about. So that's.
Well, you're right. That's why I've done what I've done, trying to share my journey and how I came to where I was. That's all I can offer people. You know, and I get it. You know, there has to be a method when you need to think about how, as I spoke about with Ali, how you approach people, how you affect them, how you get the points across. There's so many aspects to it.
Yeah, and about walking the walk, I think, I don't know what his name was that was talking earlier, but I think if you walk a bit more, then you'd be more susceptible to what he was saying.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got QNFE's in chat saying that he's got some really interesting photographic evidence that he's going to organise for tomorrow, regarding some spiritual thing that he's recorded. I'm intrigued, dude. Yeah, please do bring it. You know,
I'm interested to see what that is. Oh, you know, John, where are you then? How do you feel about consciousness? What do you think this is? Do you think you're a spirit occupying a body? Do you think you're a product of the body?
What was that, Dale?
Oh, yeah, we're letting the dog out.
Because she won't do anything quietly.
I'm saying, where are you in your thoughts of consciousness and spirituality? Do you think we're a spirit occupying the body? Do you think, you know, consciousness is a product of the body? I mean, where do you stand with it?
I was having that conversation today. I mean, I think we're told, we're socially conditioned into believing that there's a division between consciousness and subconscious.
Yeah.
I believe it's like two ends of the same stick.
Yeah.
I think the more subconscious we become aware, then the less the subconscious is, because we become more aware of the flow.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's the way I feel about it. You only have that subconscious part to you when it's things you're not aware of.
Yeah, but I think the more you become aware, the less the subconscious, because you become a more aware human being about yourself and about your mind. Don't you think?
Yeah. So in terms of that, do you think you're a spirit? Do you think you're?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm anything more than what I am. So.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like we were discussing about Earth. If I'm really honest, I've got to say I don't know. Is there a God? I've really got to be honest with myself and say, well, I don't know. I'm not a spirit any more than what I am. Well, if I'm being honest with myself, I have to say I don't know.
Exactly. That's it. That's where I am. You know, I don't know. but I still can play with these philosophies and understand them. But for me, many of them I've got so many holes, especially some of the philosophies that I've looked into. A lot of that's based on flying through space, living on a globe. So the foundations that you're looking at are false right away. So it really has changed my whole. As I say, I was seriously beginning to entertain materialism and think, it might just be this way. It might just have been an accidental chance happening. Obviously, coming to that realization, and I start to look and think, well, it's designed. It can open up different avenues of thought and contemplation there.
That can only be a good thing.
That's it. Yeah, but still at the same, I don't know.
Yeah. But then you're the same as me. It's empowering to say that, and to at least you're being truthful to yourself.
Yeah.
And the mind is so easily, it can so easily fool us. We're so easily fooled by our own minds.
Our own bias and our own insecurities, our own hopes, our own wishes, desires.
Absolutely.
You really need to have a look at them and think, are they influencing? Am I having a bias towards something because I've got an insecurity? There's loads of aspects to yourself you need to look at.
And like I think it's quite uncomfortable for people to look at themselves and think, oh, I was a bit jealous, or I was a bit selfish. But you're not saying you're Hitler or anything. You're just human.
That's it.
Just admit you were a bit, and then say, okay, I'll watch it in the future. Just,
That's it. None of these are fucking perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
But we've been sold this idea, of people buy into this, of omnipotent, all-knowing, all-wise, supreme idol type figures. And it's so hard for people. They think it's a weakness to admit a wrong. But it's not. It fucking clears everything up and can.
It's a strength. I think it's a strength. If you're wrong.
It certainly is.
I think a learning curve. It's a learning curve.
Well, it shows a willingness to learn and adapt and change. Do you know what I mean?
I won't go right into it here, but I'd like to get in another conversation. HI said, time is an illusion, which I sort of agree with. Psychological time is an illusion. Chronological time is real, but psychological time, like tomorrow or yesterday, like tomorrow is imaginary. It's not happened yet.
Yeah.
Past is dead, so it's only the present moment that can be real.
Yeah.
So when folk go into the future or into the past, it's imaginary and it's dead. So I agree with psychological time being an illusion, but not chronological time.
No, I thought time in that sense. Even looking at this, the whole thing, there is no escaping for me that this is part of eternity.
Yeah. Marco Lohr said, "Getting things wrong is part of getting it right." I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, and having that ability to say you don't know.
Yeah.
But as I say, for me, there's no escaping eternity. Doesn't matter what way you look at it and you try and play with it. There's just no way of escaping it. And this is a construct. A construct has to be happening somewhere. So where is the somewhere? And then you keep just going and on and on and on. Every way you look at it. Where am I here? Sorry. John is a fucking haggis nut. Thanks for the fucking pearls of wisdom.
I think sometimes the best way to treat a fool is to ignore them. I wouldn't even address that.
No, mate. People do, people don't. My sisters have spiritual beliefs and ghost readings and stuff. I've met a lot of that kind of thing. Been involved with psychic or so-called psychic people and stuff. But I've never, and it's not that you are rubbish, it's just that there's no an exacting method of looking at any of this stuff. It's all anecdotal and stories here and subjective experiences, and some people's experiences might add up, match up, but until it's something we can access and actually have a look at, it's really difficult. It goes back to what we're talking about with John there. Are we just, this is all we are? and these experiences are part of the mind, and you know it's still going to be a possibility. Although I've got hopes and you know my own internal things that say, you know, I hope there's more, and you keep going on and you learn, and who knows, but it happened in a chat. As I say, that link's been sent. There was another, it was Vortex. Can you remember the name of that other account, Marshall, who was looking for a link? Something to say.
I believe.
Natty, is it? Natty.
No, it wasn't that one. It was something else.
Dank, yeah, the Lithuanian guy. I'm not sure if he's still here. Dank, if you're still here, I don't have a way of giving you the link. So if you want to mail me or add me on the Gmail list, then I'll have a connection to send you the link if you do want to come in.
I'll take this wee opportunity just to discuss that wee video I put up today and some of the comments on it. Wisdom Keeper 11, it is the young of today that need to be given opportunities to learn as free thinkers instead of being indoctrinated into the mainstream system. Your children are so fortunate to have a father like you there. You know, I really appreciate that comment. Thank you for that. But, you know, we've got these, you know, a response from an ELK or EIK, I'm not sure. Nonsense. Indoctrination is exactly what he's guilty of. There is a difference between educating someone on facts which have been verified over a long period of time by multiple independent observers and filling someone's head with lies based on sheer ignorance. You know, this is what I'm saying. These people and their attitude, the way they come across, there's no indoctrination going on. You know, it's encouraging critical thought and the ability to look at things on their own. You know, if my kids look at something and they want to take it on board and believe it, that's up to them. There's never any forced opinion pushed on them. Even if you want to play the indoctrination card against the education system, it doesn't make it okay to simply supplant that with your own indoctrination, again based ignorance and in this case incredulity. I don't know what case you're talking about, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's a display of, you know, critical thought and independence from a 15-year-old who has the ability to critically think and see things in her own way. So, as I say, for me, it's time to start sharing that. You know, everybody's involved. You know, at the end of the day, we've got teachers and, you know, an education system who's fucking pushing lies onto kids. That should be a fucking issue. That should be a concern.
Yeah, but they will never change it, I think.
Chris Truthseeker, message for Dell. Did you get the chance to check out the video I linked via private YouTube message? Please. I clicked it and there was nothing happening. I can't remember what it said, but it was removed or I couldn't get access to it. So I don't know if you need to remove a restriction on it or something. I meant to message you back, man. Was it being ignorant? Just with New Year and Christmas and the kids and everything that's happening. Often you don't get notifications on PMs, that's right. That's happening to me. Worms, you're right, Dale. Not sure what about. Hi, experience in Marvel. This is a wonder of wonders. The only absolute is what is not. The no thing is what is. This complexity is where we are. Enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah. Oh, I'm enjoying it. I want to change it. But at the end of the day, I still want resolve. I still want to really know where I am. I'm not fucking messing about.
Odell, what do you think about rainbow in flat Earth model? How would you explain?
What do I think about a rainbow?
Yeah, it's a reflection or what?
Don't know, mate. It's not something that's I've looked a lot into. Have you? Do you get any explanation? Or
I saw, but it's pretty hard to explain because my my English issues. So I will not take this to explain by myself. It's really hard. So and I think it's better. Rainbows. It's from my perspective. It proves that there's something above us. That whatever somebody will say, show me a proof, and it's really hard to show proof.
this is it. What's important. What are the actual proofs, man?
Yeah.
We need to start from that and be totally honest with ourselves.
Yeah, I wish I would fly. So maybe I would fly to the dome.
I share that wish. Could fly, no problem in my dreams. It's just a problem here. But as I say, the dome and the firmament, whatever people want to call it. I can only go on the claims. If somebody's claiming there's another medium beyond where we are, then reality tells me that there has to be a solid separation between the two, whatever that is. I don't mean plastic or glass. There just has to be some sort of barrier, preventing the equilibrium, and that's just based on reality.
What if it's the diamonds in the sky? Like who cares about Bible said that the firmament is a molten looking glass. So a molten looking glass is basically I would explain that with some diamond, but I don't have a proof. So whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't really think anything, man. To be honest with you, that's the problem. Can any of us get up there? Can we actually look at it and touch it and see what it is?
Yeah, I wish I would.
And has anybody got access to that? Can they get up and touch it? Can they get up and attach things onto it? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
I think the subject that will come up quite a lot. Well, we don't know. As yet, we don't know.
That's it. As yet, we don't know, but we can. We can know.
But we can still fire. We can still keep firing at the fake and the false lies that we've been told.
That's it. As I say, it's hard. It's difficult. We always try and stick to the claims that are made, and deal with it that way. That's the method for me, anyway. I'll just keep questioning it. But who knows? It makes sense to me. We live in pressure. If there's another medium, there would be a solid separation. Whether that's a totally enclosed thing that comes down to the earth level, or it's a sealed unit like a sphere. It could be anything, or an expansive plane. But who knows? All the options are open.
Lenny's suggesting that what turned him onto a personal spiritual journey was the ancient texts that allude to or reference the FE. They seem to universally do that, Lenny, don't they? He's citing the Bible, Urantia, the Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and any number of other cultures do the same thing, don't they?
Yeah, well, did these cultures have access to the outer reaches? Did they know exactly where they were?
If you're to believe anthropologists, a lot of them cite the knowledge being afforded to them by what they term as their gods. Gods in quotes, I suppose. But
I don't want to make fun or about people who claim to be spiritual because they seek the higher enlightenment from a god or somebody. But then, if I told you, bringing back the Loch Ness Monster, if I told you Loch Ness Monster told me that as well. I mean,
a or the
Yeah.
flat spaghetti monster.
You wouldn't believe that anymore. So why should I believe that somebody's in touch with their God?
Yeah, and it's pretty, it's we can discuss that. I mean, it's what people's idea of gods are that bother me, and then they don't want to get involved in discussion in order to understand, and that's always where it breaks down. With people, it's just if they can explain what what that is they're actually trying to say, and then we can question it and look for flaws in it.
Yeah, which is a claim, isn't it? It's another claim.
Aye. I totally get that people want a saviour and something to make everything all right and make it all go away, but at the same time, I don't really want some other god or higher consciousness that's ruling everything in my life. I mean, that's fucking terrifying. I can't really go there. It breaks down for me. If it's the truth, then it's the truth, fine. But where is the proof for any of these claims? It's a subject that I'm willing to discuss and talk about. Theories, philosophies. But I just draw the line when people start pushing it and preaching it without allowing us to question it.
I think there's a lot of good wisdom in these spiritual teachings, but I have a problem when they go from that and connect to God told me personally or Buddha told me personally. And I think
it's when it gets to the metaphysical aspects and the claims to know that what stretches out into the other dimensions of reality and existence that I start having a problem with. It's fine, spirituality based on personal experience and people learning and sharing that stuff, but these other aspects, I've got serious questions for.
Yeah, the word spirituality anyway, it's so open to suggestion. It means 100 different things to different people.
Yeah. Spirituality is some people's hairy-fairy fairies and goblins and and spirituality means how you conduct yourself with each other. It's everybody's got a different spin on what spirituality is.
Mm-hmm.
I think people. I think metaphysical is the word. When we're talking about gods and all this kind of stuff.
Excuse me, just so long as nobody's confused, none of this is directed at Lenny. Lenny was actually saying that the way he came about his understanding was through the investigation of these texts. He wasn't suggesting he's a proponent of any one of them, just the journey that he's taken to come to the conclusions he has.
Nice one. Well, that's good. Everybody, takes a different path. My path led me to here, and things I looked at, and I've shared that through my timeline, and other people have different avenues, which is great. That's what I was talking about earlier, about different types of people and sharing their different experiences, so other people have got a chance to relate to them.
I think for me, like the person just said, they come to the conclusion. I think to me, in spiritualism, it should never be a conclusion. It should always be doubting, questioning, and I've got a problem with conclusions.
That's it. You would have to have the full objective truth.
Yes.
And nobody has that.
Yes. I think once you reach conclusions and know everything, and that's death, I'm afraid, or you're
stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
You're stagnant.
Stagnant, yes.
Yeah. We've been there. We've all been there. The reason we can say that is because we have been there.
Because as soon as you reach a conclusion, then all inquiry stops.
That's it.
There's no learning. You reached it. Your cup is full. So.
And I've tried a lot of these things and tried to adopt them and get into them and try to see if I can find something in them, and I didn't find anything.
Maybe it's already inside you. It's not over there. It's over here.
That's it. That's the point I got to. That's where my realisation came. That it was pointless for me to keep messing in my mind about who I am, where we are. The only logical step now is to actually physically discover where we actually are. That might connect us back to who we are, and another part of history that we've forgot about. Because it makes sense to me, because why would there be such a push to hide whatever it is they're hiding? They're obviously something hugely significant with it. You know? But you know, I had to play with the philosophies, the religions, the spiritual ideas, and that led me to realise, look, if we don't know where we are, then all that stuff is based on guessing. It's based on insecurity, bewilderment, confusion. It's not based on any true grounding.
Yeah, I think it's okay and healthy to play with these things, as long as you're not like the guy who came along and was adamant that his conclusion was right and being quite vocal about it.
Yeah, he's entitled to that as well, you know, to be who he is. But if he's coming to this platform, then, you know, I'm who I am, and I want to question and ask and discuss. So, you know, it's not an attack or...
No, not at all. But I think everybody should ask, well, okay, that's how you see it, that's your sense of reality, but I would need some more experience or some more evidence before I share those views with you.
And I'm up for challenging. That's what I like to do. I like people to, you know, if they're coming from a belief and they're willing to discuss and move on, I love to challenge it and question what it is they believe and put questions to them, and then for them to put questions to me, and that's how, you know, I learn and I move on. You know?
Yeah, provocative sort of questioning is good.
Aye. As Marshall says, if we can question each other and we can start to come up with the same findings, then, you know, we're going to be maybe a lot closer to real truth, you know?
Yeah. I once read a long time ago, the only way anybody can really help you is to question your preconceived ideas and beliefs.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that. Yeah.
It is, and that's a problem. People think you're trying to shut them down or you're attacking them because you question it. And it's actually healthy.
You're actually just stimulating another person's thinking, aren't you?
Aye. And at the same time, you're willing to accept what it is they have if they can, you know, discuss it with you and offer you some sort of reason to invest in it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I just like to say, with Teen and Jarek and yourself and Ali that came on, I think it's really great because you're all respectful of letting another one speak, and you can listen to something you disagree with and respect that. There's no abuse, there's no name calling, there's no competition to prove who's right or who's wrong. And I think that's the beauty of your channel, Dale, and I think that's why a lot of people are quite envious of it. And they come on here, disrupt that harmony. And I see some people saying, "Oh, crawling up each other's arses," but that's not what it is. It's respect and mature human beings having a conversation.
That's a great point. You bringing that up, aye, because that's the difference, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the schoolyard where we're going about, you know, arse licking each other for the sake of it, just to be best of buddies. You know, if you know, we'll challenge each other as well. You know what I mean?
I'm sure the four of us don't agree on everything together, and now did Ali when he was on. I think the neutral people watching will see that here's some adults having a conversation and there's no abuse happening. There's no competition and they're letting each other speak. There's respect. So,
the real drama is discussion, discovery, and, you know, finding the possibilities of where we are. The drama and excitement's no fucking mindless name calling and bitching. You know what I mean? That's boring.
Yeah, and everybody on here, we didn't know each other and then came together as a group. We're individuals who respect each other and how we communicate and what we think.
Yeah, that's it. It's just coming to that common ground and that understanding that we can discuss and, you know, talk to each other willingly and openly.
Yeah, I think a word should go with your channel, Dale, is integrity.
Aye. Well, cheers, mate. I appreciate that.
A sense of integrity at the core of it all.
Yeah. I try, you know, I'm always questioning myself and you know, making sure that I'm not falling into any bias. Again, you know, I want to try and encourage as many people as I can to come on and speak and say what they want to say. You know, I don't want it turning into the Dale show, the joint. You know, I want everybody's free to have a voice here.
Can you change the tickets you give out then? Because it says Dell show on my ticket.
Don't be showing the contract. What's anything happening in the chat? Anything happening? Earth discussion. Lenny Harry, physical discovery and the spiritual journey means to me we take others with us, we become better people, etc. Well, I said that earlier, you know, the more critical thinking people there are about me, the better I feel. You know? Makes you feel a bit, what's that?
Sane.
Aye. No, it's great, you know, reaching out, meeting people here, people that I can have discussions and talk with. It's fucking fantastic. The more of that, the better.
Yeah.
And we can start discovering some really interesting stuff. Who have we got here? Maybe it seems everything is a lie. Yeah, it certainly is. Colin Campbell, I wonder what would happen in the hours after the wake up. Meltdown, probably. If it was just to be revealed all in one go, I think there would be serious meltdown. Emma McDonald, hello, Emma. My missus. Morgan, is she here? Is my daughter here that I forced onto the video this morning? Is she in the chat? Have I missed her somewhere?
I didn't see her hands. Were her hands tied?
Aye. There was a knife in the back.
Harley Quinn in the chat, who's obviously in a hurry to derail things. Dell is the ultimate sophist. Is that the word of the day here, Harley? Is it? You know,
I know it's been bandied about, hasn't it?
It has, isn't it?
Get specific. As John says, you know, it's just about time we start paying these clowns absolutely zero attention.
Yes.
They're totally irrelevant. They offer nothing. And I think it's clear, you know, I've done what I've done in my timeline to highlight the illogical behaviour in these characters. To say people talk about psyops and organised groups here to derail, and you know, then you're trying to show people where it's actually happening. So for me, I think people can see it clearly now, and these characters are just totally irrelevant.
I think you know, give people credit who are questioning this heliocentric model. They're obviously using intelligence, so if they're on here and they're looking at that, they can see who the players are.
That's it.
Because of the abuse, so I'd let them bring themselves, because they're just after attention.
Exactly. So if we've got nothing to add in the way of discussion, I'm not really interested. As I say, the platform's there. Obviously, you know, a lot of the stuff gave me opportunity to highlight things that I'd spoke about in earlier videos. So, you know, I appreciate them for that. And as I said, it says to Ali, you know, dealing with some of these people, you can sharpen your tools a lot better. But as I say, it's not about running away from it. I like to engage and figure out and see what they are. I've lost touch with chat again. Every time I move that, it jumps. Wonder if the name calling bitching is just confirmation of how terrified people are enjoying the adult conversation. Well, that's it. A lot of individuals, I think, you know, and that fear will cling with other ones who are feeling the fear. They'll band together as a fear group, spewing illogical nonsense. But at the same time, you know, I've been involved long enough and done my own research, my own experience to claim that there's organised groups here, same on any of the other social media sites, because this is a huge thing. So there's going to be attention on it.
It's interesting. I was using an analogy. you totally believed in the Western medicine and you're looking for an operation, and I came along and said, "Oh, Dale, have you thought about acupuncture?" And you said, "Oh, fuck off, you retard." I mean, you wouldn't do that, would you? You might say, "Look, I don't agree with acupuncture. I don't believe in it." That's what you would say. You wouldn't say, "Oh, you're a fucking retard."
I would say the truth and say I've never experienced it. I can't comment. I would be commenting for ignorance. I would experience it and then have an opinion.
Yeah, but the people who are going straight into abuse, I think it's just showing where their agenda is and what their motivation is.
Yeah. Well, it's a basic tactic and a basic tool, isn't it? You know,
it's not a normal response or a normal reaction.
I can say it's normal and put up with it, you know, a couple of times in people's cognitive dissonance and you know, their own issues, but when it's repetitive, continual over a long period of time, it's something different. Leslie Beckwith, good show there. Thanks, Leslie. Leslie was there in Jamie Brown's wee hangout last night, which I enjoyed. It was great because I was pulled up to make sure I wasn't making any claims. Ian Cox, chat's better than content. Carry on, my man. Chris Truth Seeker, I don't know if you got my response about the message you sent me. I've not a chat, I maybe lost it in the chat. So I getting back to that point about, you know, taking 2 years to actually accept the truth and know where we are. It's not an easy process. It's hard for people, even people that have got an open mind, me being one of them. And still at moments you still have, you know, realization sets in of the actual reality of the situation. So it's still happening, the acceptance and the realization is still kind of ongoing, I think. Yes, thanks, Dale, Chris Truth Seeker. Cool. Antonio explained to his son. I don't know what that's about. Tech Guru, Dale, Book of Job, and Enoch. The thing about Enoch, I keep meaning to look at that. It's a few times people have said that to me. It's an Australian guy. What's the name of his channel? It's Sam Kelly on Facebook. I'll need to check that out.
There is an audio reading of the Book of Enoch, and to my shame, I can't remember who's done it. But props to you for doing it. It's going to save people, you know, a bit of thumbing through the pages. I hope it's the R.H. Charles translation.
Yeah, that's cool. Then I'll re-listen to that. I'm better to listen to it.
I'll link it up to you. I've got it bookmarked somewhere.
Aye, cheers, Tech Guru. I'm going to check that out. It's a few times it's been mentioned now. Antonio cannot explain the multiple speeds of the sun. I don't know what's going on with the Antonio thing. I need to look at that. Emma, she's talking to Morgan. Why can I not see Morgan in the chat? Oh, there she's there. Hello, babe. Good, Lol. How's things for you in this flat as can be earth?
Richard Clark's mentioning the Ethiopian Book of Noah. I haven't seen. Obviously, that's a search job. Has anybody done an audio of that? Save us all some time.
Brandon, I don't think anyone has a choice in flat earth. I am waiting for the day when the inevitable happens and the long-term trolls have their realization. Yeah, it's inevitable.
Yeah. QNF's pointing out that, you know, books aren't to be trusted implicitly.
No. I'm going to listen to it just for curiosity. You know, a few people have recommended it. So I'm just going to, listen to it. Might even inspire me to make a vlog on it. I'll see. But obviously it'll be the same caution that I always show with anything.
Some guy said that the moon is the Achilles heel in the flat earth. Why?
Sorry, what's that?
Some guy said that the moon is always gonna be the Achilles heel in the flat earth. So
Why?
I don't know why.
Who's flat Earth, and what flat Earth is he talking about?
That's the reality. I don't know.
Again, it will be based on a certain model that he thinks we represent when we don't represent any.
Yeah, that's it.
We represent facing the claim that was made to us and pushing that it's nonsense.
Yeah, we don't care much about what's above us, but we care what where we live in. That's the truth.
Yeah. That's that.
We can always talk about sky, but it's secondary thing, or maybe whatever. But
yeah, obviously, it's something there that we can observe, but it doesn't offer anything in the way of proof of the shape of the Earth that you're on. So.
And you can also, measure with the temperature of the moonlight. It's actually cooler than the shades. So
Is that being replicated by a few people?
Yes, I can show you a video with was that what was the device called? Wait.
And it has been replicated by various other people?
Yes, it was. I can show you a video. Wait.
Really makes you thirsty with this hangout stuff. Hint, 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 hint.
I can send you on a Skype, right, Dal?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So, okay.
Harley Quinn suggesting that moonlight isn't cooler. Well, there's people out there showing their personal evidence that that's actually incorrect. I think the only way to satisfy yourself is to do it yourself.
That's why I'm asking if various other people have done it.
Some people have, though, yes. But again,
so we have people, people make claims, they show it, they do their experiment and they show it, and you get people who make claims. Is he offering a proof, Harley Quinn?
No, he's not. He's just in a hurry to be rather negative in the chat, but
just buy Pyromet and you do experiment by yourself if you have some evidence to not believe in this, whatever. To these people who still not believing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if evidence can be presented, then it should be considered. And if you have the opportunity to validate that personally, then you're going to get the most secure answer from that, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
What's this about the moon data? It would be nice to get the moon data, Glenn. Interesting. Have I missed you?
That did you?
That's a leading question, though. I wouldn't answer that.
Right. Sorry, Jared, what were you saying? No.
I'm sure if Jed wants to promote something, that he could pick up a link and come in and promote it live on air if he wanted to.
Aye. If it's a progression, if it's something that's aye, I'm up for that.
Don't have to lurk in the chat doing it, Jed.
If it's something that he's trying to put forward and everybody should hear it, take part of it.
Yeah, entirely, and I'm just not going to make the effort on his behalf. I mean, the opportunity's there if he wants to come and promote it here.
So there's nobody else asking for a link, is there?
Yeah, I send you on the Skype though.
Or did you send me that thing?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that, Jarek, once we're finished here, man.
No problem, man.
As I say, you know, that's the difference. If somebody's made the claim and they're actually pushing the experiment, they're showing it. That's the difference.
And it's not fake. Nobody did some crazy things before this video. So, and people can do it by themselves. Like, it's natural science. Nothing, nothing crazy.
Richard Clark's saying that he attempted to replicate the experiment, but couldn't verify that it was cooler. So, yeah, well, then we have to say more experimentation is required in order to validate that.
Exclusive. Yeah.
But props for fessing to a negative, dude.
So I've not invested a bias in anything, so people are finding what they find and they present their proofs, then that's all you can ask.
Absolutely.
Maybe Dale would like to take part in moon tracking.
Come in and ask, Jed. Come on, you know you want to.
Moon tracking for what purpose?
Don't, Jed, don't give in to him, don't. Don't you feel a little bit foolish, Jed, when you could come in here and be welcomed and do your promotion if that's what you want to do? Nobody's here to attack you, mock you, any of those things. All right, we're here trying to have a civilized adult conversation. You're welcome to join it, man.
So, anybody's welcome to join it. Anybody. But I need to distract myself away from that child. Get caught up trying to catch up with it, and then you lose conversation.
Yeah.
I really need to keep myself away from it altogether.
I think that's why Team does an excellent job.
Aye, that's it. Yeah. I can just inform me if there's anything decent. So, aye. So, anything else anything to say? I'm. John, Jarek.
What's up?
Anything else you want to say, man?
It's only 3 minutes, this video. Did you see that?
No, I'm going to have a look at it. I don't want to watch it here. I need to figure out how to screen share as well.
Yeah.
So we can all have a look at stuff. But I need to be wary of copyright stuff as well. So,
yeah, I was planning to buy the Pyramid by myself, but it's not that expensive. It's not that cheap, so whatever. We'll see. And if I will buy, I will do a video. So on a super moon.
Nice.
Yeah. Here's an interesting claim. Muscle cars, solar panels make no electricity with moonlight. Is that absolutely none? I think that's something that's worth investigating, isn't it?
Yeah. Certainly is. Sorry, John, were you going to say something?
Yeah, just changing our subject a little bit with the fear thing, keeping us in fear. Just in the paper today, there was a big thing about Bill Gates warning us of future strains that are coming our way and viruses. And the next paragraph, he's talking about his vaccines, which he's obviously invested heavily in. But I think he's just part of the same group that lied to us about the shape of the Earth and tell us about asteroids hitting us to keep us all in fear.
Yeah.
It's just so predictable, isn't it? The mainstream media, it's all fear stories and bad news.
Constantly. It's meant to be objective, and represent the whole and every aspect of life, but it's just fucking constant fear mongering.
Absolutely.
But they get away with it because they class it as a non-factual entertainment program.
Yeah, but then people love the propaganda when it's told to them through entertainment.
But they're more than likely just to behave and accept the wee paradigm that they have, because the rest of the big bad world's so bad. So
Yeah. But it just shows you how easy we're controlled, though, if we're in fear, because we'll look to the government to take us out of that fear and lead us in the right direction.
Yeah.
Towards the ball.
All worship the ball.
Yeah.
It's all designed to keep us from that. That's the whole game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep your attention. Keep your attention from distractions and delusions. Really do need a drink here. The hint went unheard. I know you're watching.
You've got two people in the chat who might be able to do that.
Aye. There's been a text message sent and various hints given. I think I'm being ignored.
You have to send your wee rocket ring.
Oh, I'm coming. She's coming. Right. So it was good. It was good that my daughter done that today. As I say, it involves everybody, and just to show that I'm open and honest with my kids and everybody else. So
I think there was a lot of positive feedback from a lot of people about, wasn't it great to see somebody so young being open to that, and the people who are a lot older, it's taken us a lot longer to come to that realization that we've been lied on that huge level, but your daughter's already got it at 15.
Yeah. Well, if you're there and you're there to guide, through the years, it makes it a bit easier, rather than us, left unguided and filled with all this fucking nonsense, and then it takes you years to figure it out, and you've got all this back work to look at. For me anyway. So, aye, but she's not the only one. I see other youngsters and teenagers who get it, no problem.
Can I ask? Has that ever come up in her school? The subject of the
and the class, you mean?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think so. No.
That'd be quite a tricky one for her if it did. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Obviously you've got to be realistic about it, and where we are in this situation, and protect her from unnecessary pressures and strain. The most important thing for her is that she gets through the hoops that they want her to get through, but at the same time she's maintaining her own critical thought. And once the years are over, that's it. But she knows, she understands, and she sees it clearly. It's just it's cross the whatever the saying is, ticking the right boxes just to get the bit of paper.
Yeah. I see you didn't say once our captivity is finished.
Well, it's not going to finish because we still are in captivity.
Right.
Just another level of it.
Captivity's lessened a wee bit.
Aye. Captivity within a captivity.
Mm.
Aye. So that's it.
You can go into the next bigger pen.
Aye. So obviously, I don't say to her, "Oh, go in and challenge your teacher," and she's not daft that way.
That's why I thought, it's difficult for kids, because if they come into that realization, they know they can't really go into class and speak full-heartedly about it.
Yeah, she understands the situation, so just sit there and bite your tongue and get it over with. But that says it all. It's a fucking sad state of affairs.
Like most people have to do at university, bite your tongue and tell them what they want to hear.
Aye, you don't even listen to your kid. We were all kids going to school and going, it's horrible, it's miserable, but we have to do it. I mean, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
You will learn algebra, but why? Well, because you'll learn it. But why?
Aye. Here's some nonsense about a guy that lived 300 years ago. Fucking what? What relevance is that to my situation right now? I'm
going to be working on the building site. What is that going to do me?
Aye. How do I get shelter for myself? How do I find food? How what about all that stuff? Forget that. Christopher Columbus, worship him. I mean, Get a job in a factory, get married, fucking die, job done.
Mhm.
I mean,
I've seen a clip from a comedy program, and Would I Lie to You it was, and he was trying to say, I was named Christmas by my parents, but then he went on to say his cousin was named Christopher Columbus, and the question was put to him, why Christopher Columbus? You're born in England, why him? And then he starts saying, oh, that's what we were educated on. That's when people told who to worship and who not to worship, even though it's somebody from another continent.
but you don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you have to believe, it's setting you up. Believe our stories. If it's in a book that comes from this source, then it will be true. It has merit. It has merit. And it's a weight that pushes you to, adopting these things as reality. And probably the majority is just total fucking nonsense.
The history. What am I trying to say? The winners write the history books.
Yeah. Or whoever happens to have that power writes the fucking books and dictates the narrative.
And how on earth would you get certain books published in those days when they had full control of the publishing? You couldn't publish an alternative information going against the mainstream.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's shot herself in the foot with this kind of technology.
Aye. Mm.
Maybe see a scramble for them to try and regain some of it back, but who knows?
There's a lot of talk of that right now.
Yeah, shutting down activity like this, people discussing and freely sharing.
Yeah. Keep the child porn going, but shut down that open discussion.
Oh, that's it. Aye. Well, let's ignore all that.
Have you ever wondered about those websites are just allured to, with all the technology they've got? Do you think they can't find out who has those websites on the computer? Why are they not all shut down?
I know.
I mean, you can take over your Hangout, but they can't take over those websites.
Exactly. Why are they here with this? And there could be a way of organising and shutting stuff like that down and putting a real service out there.
Absolutely. But then, if it's actually them that are supplying those channels, then it's never going to be shut down.
Well, that's it. I've seen great channels recently. There's a lot of it popping up, but it's really alarmed me, the amount of it. And it's people who set up like accounts on certain sites, and and they'll say they're like anything from 10 to 15-year-old kids, boys or girls, and arranging to meet guys, who think they're there to have sex with like fucking a 10-year-old and all this kind of stuff. So they set them up and they expose them on the thing, but the alarming thing is the amount of videos that are actually going up. I'm like, fucking hell, man! It seems as if,
So that's catch.
What's that?
Why on earth?
I can't hear you. You broke up there, mate.
Why on earth can't they catch them?
Aye. Well, that's what I'm saying about these people. They've gone to these measures and setting these things up and catching them, and exposing them. But as you say, you've got these people who have the ability to go in and snipe, hang out, and take over sites. Why are they not waste using their effort to shut these things down?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I think they're deliberately put up by people like that.
Yeah.
Powers that be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Net zero tolerance, get on top of it and fucking shut it down. They have the power to do it,
Absolutely. And see, I think people should be angry taking to the streets and demanding that. That's still why they're allowed to continue.
I know. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
It's a total apathy. It's like, it's not happening to me, so fuck it,
Absolutely.
And then they want to moan and whine about it when it comes to their doorstep, But you're right, I say the same. And I've always said it, why people just accept this shit? Why isn't anybody questioning what's really happening here? Why are
flu-riding vaccines?
Why are these illogical morons fucking sitting in positions of power?
Yeah.
Yo, this is,
Drugs, fluorides, vaccines, alcohol.
Yeah. When we know the damage, we know what's happening. You know, yet it still goes on.
yo, Mascor, how would you disprove that water has to be able to contain the water? The earth has to be able to contain the water. Explain me this.
What's
On
that?
a
Sorry?
fucking ball? How can you show me this? This guy from chat, Mascor or
Unfortunately,
something
they
like that.
can't show you, can they?
No, of course I can't show
If you
you.
make a claim that we're living on a spinning ball with a water sticking, show me. Show me.
Practical examples.
Don't show me. Don't show me the CGI photo.
Now,
Man, basically, it's image, but
now, come on, Jerry, come on. You're asking a bit much there. Come on, then. Calm down, calm down.
you know, he just triggers me.
You're actually asking for some proof.
Right.
Come on, Jerry.
You've been
Troll.
triggered, Jarek.
I did.
But that's it. You know, they're not going to offer any practical example because it's no reality. And that's the point. These people actively try and deny the reality they're living in. You know, and insist that other people should deny the reality that they're living in.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's a terrible thing. It's a horrible attitude. You know.
Yeah, you will fly off on a spinning ball.
Yeah. I don't. It's not like I don't. It's like I want the globe not to be true. You know, if it's true, it's true. Just fucking show the proof.
I
You
wouldn't,
know?
I wouldn't mind a ride in that spinning ball. Sounds great. Like, imagine that you could feel yourself spinning round and the wind in your hair. And I'd love to experience that.
Fucking right. You would never need to pedal anywhere. Every direction's down. I come to see you. I'm doing hill. I go back home. I'm doing hill.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You can swim up river going north.
You actually start to contemplate, imagine what it would be like in a boat. It'd be fucking bizarre.
People wouldn't be needing drugs, would they? There'd all be spinning their heads.
We have up, down, left, right. You know, that to me can only be so on a starting from a level plane. You know, on a globe there is none of that. You know, every direction's fucking downhill.
Mm.
There's no one real picture from space. They're not.
No.
They are? No.
No.
Show me if this guy make claim. Show me a real picture.
No. But that's the problem, Jarek. You know, the images and they need to be falsifiable. You know, images these days can be manipulated. You know, to a point where you just can't tell.
Yeah. That's why we were asking last time for a single lens, high definition video camera turning a full circle from the moon or on a spacewalk.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't be 100% proof, but that'd be very difficult to manipulate.
Yeah. That's it.
And if it was a studio, they couldn't do that because you would see the film director, props, actors, cameras.
Yeah. Yeah. And they'll keep saying you're arguing for incredulity and arguing from ignorance and blah, blah, blah. And you're going, no, well, show me practical examples. Or just show us practical
Now
examples.
he said he is a concava.
I'm trying not to look at the chat.
But it's not ignorance when you're asking a question.
Exactly.
Questions are not ignorance. Questions are quite intelligent.
Right. It's ignorance when you make claims and you can't offer any fucking proof. It's beyond ignorance.
Yo, nothing is real to flatter. Show me, proof of gravity. If you have, show me. Come on, man. Come on, come and show.
You're not going to get anywhere, mate. It's been fucking nearly 2 years and there's none. So, as I said before, it's a foregone conclusion. It's done now. It's just a matter of what the full dimensions are.
Yeah, you're right. It is almost done. I mean, all this time, nobody can actually prove that we're on a spinning ball of water.
No, apart from NASA. Yeah.
NASA fanboys.
Same idiotic images.
Dan Winfield says, let's sacrifice a globe believer. But I think those two words go together, though, globe believer, because you have to have a belief because you've no evidence of it.
I'm fine with globe believers as long as they accept and they realise that it is a religion.
Yeah,
They can believe it or they like. But the difference is we don't spend our time over at globe channels.
Absolutely.
Acting illogical and like fucking fanatics, like cult members.
That's true, I never thought about it.
So, they're entitled to have their belief if that's what they want. For me personally, I would eradicate beliefs altogether and have it as an illness.
Yeah.
Because it causes nothing but fucking problems.
I sometimes go to those videos if somebody links me and say, look, here's some evidence. So I'll go and have a look and I'll come back and say, well, I don't see any proofs there, I'm afraid. It's just a obvious fakery of GCI.
CGI, I know, mate. It's the same stuff. They've got nothing. As I say, it's just a religious stance, and that's it. To claim that it's science is total dishonesty.
Yeah. And remember that photograph we showed with the fingers exposed in space? There are better ones showing the complete 10 fingers exposed.
Yeah.
But I can't seem to find it.
Yeah. The only science that's involved with the globe is the science of deception. That's it.
Yeah. And somebody's asking what proof is there of flat Earth?
Flat Earth.
Incognito, but if I could just say that I don't think anybody on here has said that it's definitely flat or claiming any models other than what we've been given.
Yeah. It's a fact of reality that it has to be able to contain the water. Right? That's a fact of reality. That's a claim that I can back up, and so can everybody else who's breathing.
But I think on here we generally agree that the water is level.
Yeah, that's it.
Largest part of the Earth.
Yeah. The full outer dimensions is undiscovered as far as we're concerned because it's unknown.
Yeah. And if everybody else was truthful to themselves, they'd have to say that as well, because they don't know. They're just repeating second information. Well,
that's it. This is the honest stance to be at. That's why they can't refute it. That's the only thing they can offer is ridicule and personal attacks, because they know this is the honest stance.
And I'd be confident saying that with the risk of offending religious people. I'm sorry, but the people who are atheists are just the same as the believers, because nobody knows. Agnostic is the only real truthful way to be, because you've been true to yourself. I don't know. I can suspect it is not real, but I have to say I don't know, so I'll be agnostic.
We can look at different aspects of what people mean by gods, and you can pretty much disprove it on, through questioning and showing the flaws in their reasoning or whatever they think it might be. But I don't. I'm not really in any doubt. So at this moment in time, for me, there has to be design involved. So that implies mind.
I agree, but I think the problem is when people come to the conclusion or the idea that it's designed, or someone's designed it. We don't get the big leap of faith between that and saying, "Oh, I believe in God." Who's to say it wasn't a more advanced race than us, or alien race, or
who's to say it's not us who are playing with stuff,
or even a machine or something? I don't get the big leap of faith saying, "Oh, it's God," because he told me. Well, I spoke to him.
Yeah, I spoke to you of everybody else.
Yes, absolutely. And I did challenge somebody once because I asked them what they're doing, and said they're praying to God to make me a better person and to watch over me. I got quite angry with that. I said, And what, is he not paying attention to the kids dying in Africa then? He's concerned that you're having a bad day, but he's ignoring all these kids dying in India. Come on.
I know there's something different going on, you know. It's just an easy thing for people to sweep it under the carpet. As I say, I had to look at it and question it, and it's just flawed. Especially these stories, these narratives of what it is, you know, the interpretation of God.
Yeah, I mean that's fine, but don't expect everybody to accept it as a truth.
Yeah. Yeah. Aye. That's it. It could be anything, as you say, another advanced race. It could be us. You know, running a simulation. Could be, you know, anything.
Mm-hmm.
But the ideas are there to be played with, you know. But it's a problem of making claims that it's the truth.
Yeah. That's all grounded in logic, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I think, you know, I understand, as I said before, people, you know, whatever emotional level they're at, they resonate with some of these ideas, and it fuels their imagination, you know, it fuels emotion in them, and they translate that, then it must have some sort of truth. When really, you know, they've got an underlying bias or a hope or a preference to, you know, that kind of idea. You know, because they're having the emotional experiences doesn't mean that it's true. You know?
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying earlier. Then don't use the word your own personal truth. It's your own personal belief or perception.
Yeah. So. It's always a minefield when you discuss that, you know, people.
Dan Winfield's wanting to waterboard them now. Send it to Katana, one of the Katana will be.
There's a few trolls you like to get a hold of waterboard. Show me the twat that employed you. Where is he?
It's not illegal, that is it, on YouTube, waterboarding?
Hypothetical waterboarding. Anything happening in the chat? I've lost touch with it.
No, there's been an ongoing debate between Jed and Nathan. Jed wants his help with something, but Jed doesn't want to say what it is. He wants somebody else to say what it is. Please, Jed, come. State your claim.
Don't see what the problem is. If people have got something they want to share with other people and get other people involved, then they're in the chat, but they don't. I don't get it. It's not like shy on a camera, for fuck's sake.
It's not about that, is it? It's about trying to leverage an advantage. You can't possibly be suggesting that you're looking for a truth that is a universal if you are acting selfishly. So unless you're prepared to change that mindset, you know, people are going to see it for what it is. Jed, come on, mate. You want to promote what you intend to do? Why don't you come on, and Nathan, come on, you know, shake hands over it, dude, and maybe we could cooperate over getting an answer to something that everybody can share. How about that?
Instead of the fucking petty games. I'm not interested in petty games. Whatever's going on in their delusional mind, and they think there is this game going on. I'm not interested in fucking games other than progress and understanding what's going on. So if people are looking for cooperation and they want progress, then I'm up for it. Always open to it.
Nathan, I didn't say you had something to promote. Okay, don't read me wrong, mate.
Anders, cheers.
Have I tried what, Jan? Have I tried what?
Sorry, John, I missed that.
Oh, just somebody's asking me, have I tried it? I'm not sure what I'm being asked.
Wait for a response.
Yeah, no text response to my invitation.
It's the games that got us into this mess in the first place, exactly. It's time for it to fucking end. It's time for logic and reasoning to fucking take over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just asked for one question with evidence with a true picture from space of the Earth, and he didn't, show. So I mean, whatever.
Oh, that's that, mate. But you're the crackpot for asking for proof.
Yeah, I have to believe him, right?
That's it. You should just know. Everybody knows, so therefore you should know.
Garrett, did you not go to school that you're not accepting what you've been told?
Well,
did you not go to school that you have to accept what you're told?
I'm not educated like them.
Oh, good for you.
Idiot and moron and retard.
Nothing.
No.
Did you know that NASA admitted that they lost hundreds of early footage on the moon landings?
Yeah, that's true.
So, because some critics were saying that's because everybody's got a home computer now, and people are investigating this for themselves, and they use sophisticated software, and to show that they were obviously faked. So they've conveniently said, "Oh, we've lost them."
Yeah.
Missing.
One of the biggest supposed achievements of mankind, but whoops, misplaced.
Oh, no negatives. No, we don't get negatives for such an important journey into that.
They said they scrubbed all the taped data because the original tapes were manufactured using whale product, and it was an expensive process, so they reused the tape for something else, which erased the data. Yeah. We're talking about the 1960s here, people, but there wasn't a great deal of concern for whales in the 1960s.
Do they not remember the old trick? What was it used to do with the VHS? Put sellotape over the fucking wee bit so you can't tape over it.
Yeah.
Convenient. I say that, one of the biggest achievements supposedly of mankind, but you make silly mistakes like that. Don't fucking think so.
And you know they give the petrified wood to the Dutch government and said it was moon rock, and they tested it and they found it was just wood. So soon after that, they said the rest of the samples of moon rock had been stolen.
That Dan Winfield, I've seen that as well, as the WikiLeaks coming out with new info on the moon landings.
Yeah, and how they went through Van Allen belt. That's the question they need to answer.
Yeah, and apparently the spaceship would have to be so heavy to protect themselves from such radiation. But there was even radiation.
In 1960?
Yeah.
With this plastic toy, they fly it up.
But there's even radiation on the moon in a wee flimsy spacesuits.
They will burn out.
Sorry?
They will probably burn out, I think. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yes. There's also footage. There's so much footage that I lose, I want to save. But there's footage of the two astronauts on the moon walking. They must have had a wide-angle camera or something. And there's a guy walking, a stagehand with his clothes and a brush in his hand, just to the side of the frame.
Yeah. And the horizon looks as if it's like 500 yards away.
Obviously painted in the background of painting.
They call this curvaison because they see the curve.
It's just like a stage set, isn't it, with a backdrop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're obviously covering things up because they know what's coming to light now. But people understand that, they're faking the moon landings and stuff. So why? The only thing that makes sense is to convince people that the Earth was a sphere. What other purpose would they be faking all that for?
Yeah, it's still 50 years and we don't have any expedition to the moon.
I wonder if they could have kept this lie going more if they made the moon landings more realistic.
Yeah. I could have made the whole thing fucking more realistic. Even now, when you see, it's like when you see images of the globe now and stuff, it's like, wow, how the fuck did I ever believe that in the first place?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The longer it goes, and the more you can look back and you see these images flashing up, you're going, surely, fuck, come on.
Probably like me, Dale, you believed it because at 5 you're watching it spinning around on the BBC, and for every day of your life, you've seen that.
It's everything. And recently, in recent days, years, it's crept in everywhere.
Yes, it has, yeah.
And the use of the word global is incredible. It's in everything.
Yeah, that's it.
just about every paragraph you read anywhere, the word global's in it. I was looking back at old adverts. They're on YouTube. You can watch them in the 60s of doctors coming on telling you what cigarettes are the best for you to smoke. And just at the end, it had the cigarette packet, and it was sitting on top of the globe model. So you're getting whammied twice over.
The more people killed because of that than fucking anything. The globe, I mean, no the fags. See, before, you take into consideration that the amount of generations who, lived a full life of just a cultural programming, never really known any truth.
Yeah.
It's incredible,
man. What happened for the older folk? Anybody maybe over 50, they didn't. All they had was newspapers and the television and radio. They didn't have a thing like the internet, and also they didn't extend very far from where they lived, or move to different parts of the country to meet different people who thought differently and provoke their own thinking. But now, like your daughter there, 15 years old, she's got access to all this social media, people coming to the school from different parts of the world. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you think about people who passed away and never knew any of the lies that have been told.
No. And it's great that people like us come forward and offer another avenue of, pursuit and way of looking at it, because, they still pump all the media stuff full of their propaganda. So just the same as, my daughter having access to all that, there's stuff there that can cause confusion as well, and it's good that there's other people who are out there combating it.
Yeah. But that's why I think it's good you're encouraging her to think of herself and to be discerning, because there's going to be good and bad everywhere. Truth and lies everywhere. So, but the more you can question things, the better.
That's it. I'm starting to waver, guys. I'm starting to get tired and wear out now. So, again, I appreciate everybody coming on.
Well, thanks for the opportunity, Dale.
Nice. Thank you for
it's been a good evening, dude.
Same again next time, I'll say it again, try and encourage anybody who's got anything to say, come on. As I say, I don't want to, maybe go with a certain subject the next time, I don't know, we'll see. But even if I am going with a certain subject, it's still open to anything else, as usual. So, so Jarek, John, Marshall.
Thank you.
Cheers, Tom.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Yeah.
See you later. See you next time.
Guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Everybody in chat as well. Same again. Thanks a lot. Even to the illogical stuff. Who have we got? Night, Morgan. Night, babe. I'll message you shortly. QN Fee, Incognito, Preston Vaughan, how's it going? Richard Clark, Ian Cox. Everybody who's there took part. Cheers, appreciated. Still, anybody, it's open to anybody.